agree with you. That linear ass hard gameplay that's only 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, you totally. Me and you, Ganja, we're right here, man. We're right fucking here, man. Yeah, right there, man. People, it's a midnight fucking chat attack. Last night, I apologized for all my screaming that I did on the microphone. I did not mean to do that shit.
No, you don't. What's your mind, audience?
No shit. And by the way, let me just stop this right here. The song's going, and then boom, stopping on the MCA logo. We had to stop at the MCA logo because that shit is great. We love that shit. But yeah, people, I know you guys just got done watching the high score. That's awesome. I love the show. By the way, I heard that Gertz was talking shit about me. And, yeah, I am not that good at Cuphead. But I watched that shit. No one was very good at that shit.
Oh, he watched you fail at that shit last night?
Apparently he did. But it doesn't matter because Sonic Mania is a fucking hard game and so is Cuphead. And if I suck at those games, of course I do. Because this shit is difficult, Ganja. It's fucking difficult, man. God damn. But, Alan, how you doing, sir?
I'm here also.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
I'm doing good.
See the colors of the wind.
My whole body health is back to normal. I'm no longer like half dead.
Yeah, exactly. But no, people. And then this is gonna be a very video game heavy show, and we're gonna try not to do too much. Like, it's not gonna be too long because obviously a lot of things that we're gonna talk about. High score. I know that's what she said. No, but you know, the high score talked about a lot of things that we're probably gonna be touching on. Like, for instance, the Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer. All that good jazz. And then, once again, it's a very repeated show because we're also talking about the Terminator yet again. I know people are sick of hearing about the fucking Terminator. Yeah, more news. The Terminator's like, man, they're really taking advantage of their own, like, trend worth on Google Trends or whatever. Like, I don't know what the fucking deal is. But we're definitely talking about that. And also, too, we're talking about a few, like, not necessarily trailers, but release dates. There's been a lot of release dates lately, and kind of curious as to why. If you know any reason as to why, Alan, maybe we can talk about that later on. And by the way, before you forget, Allie girl is in the call. What up? How you doing?
Hi.
Speaking of video games, check out that Claire Redfield haircut she got going on.
I know. She went to
I was going to go kill zombies in the after hours.
She was at the boutique in Raccoon City after the fucking, whatever the fuck, when the apocalypse happened.
I kind of wanted a little side story where Allie like running a flower shop and her trying to survive zombie throughout the whole time.
No, I was running a clothes store with a shotgun.
And Nemesis walks by you. Look like
oh my god, Allie, did you get attacked by zombies? No, the shirt was ripped already. I bought it like this.
Like, oh, fuck you guys.
Oh, that is so inside, man. That it would take us 5 minutes to explain that and no one would still get it.
Hey, dude, that's what she said.
Hey, if you went to the anniversary party, you saw it live and in person, so I don't gotta explain shit.
But no, man. I don't even know what the fuck y'all talking about at this point. But
long story.
The thing is, what I'm going to be showing really quick, too, is the YouTube channel. If this shit would fucking load, I was trying to install, but the shit wasn't working. Here it goes. Yeah, I don't know why it's showing last week's thing here. Oh, there we are. Oh, look at that beautiful thumbnail. Yeah, obviously we're talking about It. We're talking about Red Dead Redemption, Deadpool, the whole fucking thing. Yeah. But that's the itinerary, okay? But in order for you guys to take advantage of the itinerary and coming into the call and talking about a bunch of random shit with us, you would have to get into the fucking call. Now, how did they get into the call, Ganja Guru?
Well, I told him every other week Anthony used to do it before I took his job. Yes, it is reverse gentrification here, folks. Indians taking back their land. Anyways, folks, you're going to be looking either on this corner or this corner, depending on how your computer screen works. It's going to be a little, I think it's a PM box or like a little IM box. It's shaped oval. It's going to be flashing red and yellow. Click it. Me, Allie, or Alan will be the people sending you the PM. Check on the link, the Google link. Fuck you.
I'll go Google link.
The Google Hangouts link, and we'll bring you guys onto the show.
And I'm looking into the chat right now, too, because we will be looking at both chats. It is like in Midnight Chat Attack, and you will attack the chat. I want the YouTube chat and the DT chat to attack each other. And, in the call, I know you guys talking about Skyrim, but Jet saying fuck Skyrim. But Amiibo support, y'all. Check the link.
Go get mods. Go get the stuff you can get mods for, like, right now.
Yeah, exactly. But no, and then also the YouTube chat, man. I gotta say really quick, I'm gonna scroll up a little bit. Our boy Aubrey James has been on every single show, on the Wrestling Ringside Hangout show, on the video game show, and everything. We always see Aubrey James. I just want to say thank you very much. And same with Red Robot Keen. This fucking dude, Raheem, is always here, all the time. I just gotta give some love. Guy's great. He's a great guy. All that good stuff.
I like the YouTube people because when they're funny, it's all from personality and the jokes. It's not from memes and gifts. So they got to go a little overboard to try to get their jokes in. And sometimes they come up with the most fucked up shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, even just hearing YouTube represent, yes, absolutely. I actually really love when you guys talking in the YouTube chat because, for one, I get to see more comments at a time. The GIFs sometimes kind of fuck me up a little bit. I'm going to be completely honest, man. Those GIFs, like, I will stop the show just looking at something. Like, for instance, Josh over here, like, what does that have to do with anything? Hot chick. You know, that's great. Oh, wait, Allie with only one short hair because she has
Wait, because she has it?
I don't know.
What?
Who is that? Gal Gadot? Or...
That's not Gal Gadot, but I don't know who the fuck he's
Who
talking
is that? I don't even know who that is.
I don't even know the joke he's trying to make, because
Me neither.
she only wants to show her hair because she has it? Yeah, she has hair.
Yeah, like, you kind of have no choice to show your hair when you have hair.
What?
Yeah, I'm looking at this, Josh, and
How they tried to single
you failed,
white
buddy.
female.
You
Yeah,
failed. That made no sense. This is
I
what
was
we're talking about.
trying to
YouTube
white
chat better.
female Alicia Vikander to get Michael Fassbender. She has long hair. What are you talking about?
Josh just strings together a bunch of random words and hopes they form a sentence.
You know,
Come
Josh,
on,
just
eyebrow
stick to the
joke,
eyebrows,
come on,
Josh. Like, the eyebrows is why everybody was always like, "Ha ha, Josh, that was good" and everything. But yeah, and Julian's like, "Whoa, Ellie has hair? What? What the fuck?"
Man, Allie goes to get her
I'm
haircut.
so
She's trying to
confused.
look good, and all y'all are making fun of her, man. Fuck y'all.
Oh man, they're just upset because she don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy who can't get no love from
Oh,
me.
yeah.
And
You were at the anniversary party. You don't know how
Oh.
true that is, bro.
dude, with that, Nick is singing Scrubs if they do karaoke in New York.
No, fuck that. I am not gonna sing that. Fuck. I'm
They,
not gonna
they
do
made me
anything
sing a
to her.
whole new world. You're singing fucking Scrubs.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and by the way too, people, I don't have it like queued up right now. But Ganja, really quick. Actually, no. Fuck you, Ganja. No offense. But Alan, why don't you talk about the Midnight Chat Tag Facebook actually? Because you and Ganja have been like busting your ass on that Facebook page. So yeah, like why don't you tell about it really quick while I get some things set up over here, sir?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Nick tries, Nick scrambles. Basically, we, me, God, and everyone here, we've been setting up a Facebook page, and most of y'all know what it's about. Basically, that's where we're putting, photos, fan art, small little videos that can't really make it onto the YouTube channel because they don't fit. We're updating, every couple of days, adding more stuff, adding more videos, little highlights from, past shows, and gameplays from, MCA Plus and all that jazz. So be sure to check it out. Look at some of the videos, look at some of the fan art, and that eternal gift that is now officially part of the fucking show.
That fucking GIF, dude. Like even Julian just sent me that in a Facebook message right now. I'm like trying to get the show ready. I'm like, fuck. Like, goddamn.
There's the cat with that fucking gif.
Oh, that shit's hilarious, man. But no, like on top of all that stuff, people, like you guys already know the itinerary and everything. You guys know how to get into the call. But I'm gonna go right back to the Ganja Gurus. And dude, it's your turn to do your thing, man. The rules. You gotta talk about the rules.
All right, guys, like you always know, because we've been doing this for, what, a year and a half now? Rule number 1, newcomers, join the call first. We're all about those new, fresh-smelling faces. Those people we haven't seen in a while, or those people who are seeing it for the first time. So hit me, Alley Girl, or Alan in the PM box, and we guys get you onto the show. Rule number 2, do not talk over each other. Especially if you just start turning into a caveman out of nowhere, because it's plainly rude and ruins audio quality for later viewing. Rule number 3, please no nudity. This one's kind of self-explanatory. Nudity includes your genitalia and exposed to the public. So do not do that because it'll get us kicked off of YouTube. Rule number 4, do not give anyone else the link. We have a planned show here and that includes who comes on to the show. So we find out you're giving a link to anyone else besides anyone we choose, you're gone and so are they. Rule number 5, read the rules. And Alley Girl, if your mom's not there, please.
She's here.
Oh.
Don't be a mean person.
Don't be sausage. But anyway. Damn, she's like,
Mom
man, I
still
was
give
gonna
her-
eat some sausage too, and you fucked that up, Nick.
There goes her breakfast for tomorrow.
I know, man. And Alan's gonna have sausage for breakfast, isn't that right, baby? No, but anyways, I apologize. That was fucked up. He's not gay, y'all. Anyways, Ganja
Pie
Guru.
cookie.
Wait, what?
Yes. I said, and a cream pie cookie.
Oh no, man. Should we tell people to stop calling him cream pie? That shit's fucked up, man. I
Y'all
feel
called me
bad.
one for a year. I don't expect this joke to end anytime soon, honestly.
Oh man, are you more
You
happy?
look so defeated too.
I mean, are you more happy with the cream pie thing or the white privilege thing? Like, which one would you rather have? Like, I can retire white privilege.
Is neither an option.
No, not
No.
an option. That's the MCA, bro. Like, I had to deal with Nick Pick. So I'm just saying.
Man, let that silence just judge you. Let that silence just judge you for a second.
I'm sorry. I hate that shit. I really do. Like, man, people are gonna be saying that shit a lot tonight because we're gonna talk about a few things. But yeah, man, no, people once again get into the call when you get a chance, whatever, and also ask me too. You guys can ask me when you get into the call. But here's the thing, you, Alan, you put something into our to-do list for tonight. I don't know what the fuck this is, and I want you to explain it to me. So, for one, what the fuck is the name of this game
Depending on your opinion, Danganronpa, Danganronpa, or whatever the fuck the Japanese
What the fuck,
pronunciation
was that
is.
English?
It was not. It is a Japanese.
thank God.
It is a super Japanese-esque game that, like, I only heard about it tangentially. But the news article is Slip's NFL joke, so I read it, and the line of dialogue is somebody's like, "This year's for us. Fuck the Patriots." I just laughed my ass off because I don't know what the context of this fucking thing is. It is just fuck the Patriots. I don't know, a buddy of mine is a huge fan of the Patriots, so I said that to him. His response is, "What the fuck is this game?"
No, it's weird because I don't know how like it would be some kind of NFL joke in a different country. Like I just
because apparently what happened is that joke's supposed to be in reference to like Japanese, like I guess that Japanese sports teams, but the localization figured that if they localize it exactly like the Japanese team, nobody would understand what the fuck was going on. So they just put like East Coast fucking teams in there just so the reference makes sense.
wow, yeah. I mean that shit's just fucking weird to me. I mean,
Hey, that's actually smart localization though, because sometimes when you play a lot of these Japanese game, Nick, because I know you probably never touched like any of these. I guess they're called international ports, Alan, right? When they import them, but they still contain the Japanese animation and sometimes the subtext and the subtitles. But a lot of times when you get these imported games, they don't give a fuck about the American audience that's buying these motherfuckers. Sometimes the menu, I remember buying this one game. I forgot what it was called. It was one of those like you $10 ones at GameStop that you find in a bin.
Sure.
I think it was like a little female character, and her goal, it was basically like Super Mario. I got onto the loading screen, and that shit was in all Japanese. It took me 15 minutes to find the option screen to go to English.
wow.
Yeah, that's actually a really funny problem that only exists because Japan is they make their games for their fucking language, but like the actual like a lot of those games are text based, so them actually having to localize it is a lot of money. And apparently, like I was listening to a podcast that in order to translate all of the text to English, that's sometimes half the budget of the actual game. That's why games never leave fucking Japan. So when you have a situation where they actually put effort into localizations and actually do the text, that's when you get a lot of this funny stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they should say, fuck it, fuck the Patriots.
No, I was actually wondering at first if this was like there's characters in the game that are called Patriots, and this wasn't a football reference. It was just like out of luck, out of sheer fucking coincidence that like one team's called Jets, one team's called Patriots, and people are like, "Ooh, it's NFL," but I mean, I guess it's not.
No, they like I read up, they straight up like they specifically targeted those teams.
Well, they've always had a history of this, and Alan, I know Nick for sure. You're a big Pokemon fan. You probably definitely remember this. That in the Pokemon movie, they have a sports team reference that they do when the characters are going from the island where all the Pokemon trainers are going from the Pokemon Center, and Ash actually makes a reference because Team Rocket dress up like Vikings to get them across. So basically, what they do is they make a reference to the Minnesota Vikings out of fucking nowhere.
Oh, those are in the movie.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Fucking Vikings reference, and like Nostalgia Kid points out, what kid knows the Vikings? What kid's gonna get that fucking reference?
They're
Yeah,
mostly from Minnesota. That's I think I remember.
Yeah.
No, it's really weird, and I'm looking in the chat right now. Tay saying, "Get good, Nick." Because okay, so here's the thing. I was just waiting for someone to bring that up because this is not like once again be transparent with the audience. We use Google Docs and we do the whole show through the Google Docs and just we plan things ahead of time. We work on this shit all week.
We're talking secretly to each other right now, making fun of y'all right now in there.
Probably. I actually not even looking in there yet. I need to. But on top of the Google Docs
you're
thing,
streaming it? Shit.
oh shit! Oh fucking no! But the thing is, like, we don't have this planned, the Cuphead talk, because I didn't think that this was gonna be something that I even had an opinion of. I just got the shit because of Anthony. Which, by the way, if anyone missed Anthony, he came back last night, or not last night, but yesterday morning for the Cuphead playthrough. So if you guys want to hear Anthony just one last time, go back, check it out. My boy.
It's the part 1, right?
Yeah, part 1 of the Cuphead gameplay, which it was the one that I was actually doing good at. But motherfucker, that goddamn game. Now, Julian, I know you're playing this game too. And I know Gertz is talking shit.
Hey, Gertz talks shit to me all the time too. So
yeah, but that game is such fucking bullshit. Now, Julian, I'm gonna ask you first, dude, because you actually played it, and I know these guys have watched gameplay and watched me play, and me freaked the fuck out, and I freaked out about Sonic Mania and Rocket League and shit too. But what do you feel so far about the game, Julian?
I think that it's really well designed. The controls are the highlight, I think. Like, ignoring the art style and all that shit, because that's amazing. I think that the controls are really, really tight, and I think they're like butter. I think they're how they're supposed to be. Because the way that it's designed is like your thumb can just slide on the D-pad, and I think it works like just perfectly.
I'm a
Yeah.
fucking child.
I know. I heard that shit too. It's like it's tight and your thumb can slide. On the
Anyway,
D-pad.
but while they're
Yeah,
being
man.
children, like basically one of the issues Nick's probably going to bring up is a lot of times is the game though feels very very repetitive in a lot of what you're doing, and it also is hard to really tell when you're actually doing damage to certain enemies. Like when we were watching the gameplay, it was very difficult for us to tell whether or not we're actually doing damage until like we replayed the bosses a lot of times. So how do you feel about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the point of the game because I noticed that too. It comes across almost like the boss fights are puzzles, which I kind of like because that's different. But it's all about like classic old school shit, figuring out the patterns and like just knowing how to avoid it. So like I don't know, it kept me on my feet because like it has like ways that it switches up things. Like there's one boss fight where it sends several mini bosses at you and like it changes the order. Or like there's certain moves that the bosses have that it'll switch it up a little bit. So it really keeps you on your toes. I don't know. I've been having fun, but like I have been noticing that it is getting repetitive. But like again, like the thing I haven't been mentioning is the art style. Just like my curiosity of like what is the next weird shit they're gonna do, because like that art style, like yeah, you can just say whatever. That's just something they slapped on top of it. But like, dude, they're really creative with this shit, and they have the balls to be like, yeah, this is weird. Like, suck my dick, deal with it.
So I don't even feel like
Actually,
those-
So a question though.
I'm sure Ganja, will throw in on this as well. I think the art style comes first. Like that's what they focus on first, but then
Yeah.
they immediately just like did gameplay second. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, I had a question. So for Julian, 'cause I haven't played this yet. I really want to try it out. But so when you say it's like tough with the controls are satisfying, would you say it's like Super Meat Boy in that kind of comparison, or like what do you think's close in that comparison?
Yes. See, the thing is, I haven't played like a lot of Mega Man or anything like that, but like the way that the dash move works and like how there isn't a double jump, like everything that happens in the game, like if you get hit, it's your fault. Like it's not like it's like, oh, this game's full of shit. Like it's just throwing a lot at you, and it's really hard.
Okay.
Now,
I don't know, man. I don't like that kind of gameplay style because it reminds me a lot of those simple flash animation games that we saw come out of Newgrounds, like Alien Hominid and a few others that I can't remember. I think Metal Slug was another one that resurgence out of the Newground phase as well. But the problem with it, a lot of those games were developed that way because they're either based off a old school style where coins were still a thing. And when you played them when the Flash games came out, it was always just restart because they knew people would get bored and tedious with constantly having to go through the same levels over and over again, just on the simple fact that you're dying. And I see no difference between this and Cuphead. Like, for example, I was talking to Jen earlier in the chat room during the high score, and she brought up a good point that she's the kind of person that likes hard games. So I get the appeal with the kind of difficulty setting it gives people. But for most majority of people, it kind of breaks their patient point to the that I don't see a lot of people picking this up and enjoying it with the general public. I see this being kind of like an artsy gamer kind of thing. People who are like 100% into the industry. The same ones that lost their shit for Guardians of the Colossus or something like that.
Oh, Shadow of the
Shadow of the
Colossus.
Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus, where it was basically the same gameplay as the previous one, but because the art style and the story was decent to good, people just lost their nut over it. I'm just more disappointed because it's just such a linear gameplay that you really only love this for the animation style. There's really nothing there.
Well, it's a side scroller, so calling it linear is bullshit, man. And it's not that linear.
Linear
because
is a figure
you
of
get a
speed.
choice of which level
All right, hold
you go
on.
to.
You want me to explain what I meant by linear?
Yeah, sure.
I mean linear and say the variations of the level designs. They don't change up. Even though they're a side scroller, there's plenty of side scroller games that would give you different variations of level designs. For example, it's the new Metroid that's coming out. Not new Metroid, the old one that came out for the Samus Returns, thank you, was a side scroller, but they made variations on different levels that you went to, different areas that you went to. So it felt like you were going somewhere new. This one just seems like you're going to another still of a picture, and then you see that still of the picture 15 fucking times. So you only feel like it's brand new when you go to a new level just because you spent an hour on the previous.
I would
Well, that's
argue
because
that,
also. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I would argue that because of the way that you play each level, like these boss fights, like you have to figure out the pattern. You're not doing the same thing over and over again. So I get how it's similar, but I would never call it linear. Like you can't play
I
like
disagree.
two levels.
Even from
same.
the
Except
map
the run and
style is
gun
very
ones, maybe.
linear.
That's the thing. Like when we saw Nick playing, and I do want Nick to throw in a few things just to see kind of how he, because he's the one that played it. Me and Ganja simply just watched. But
Yeah.
what Ganja's basically getting at is, it feels like there's two types of levels: boss fight or like
Run and gun.
side scroll, and it feels like a side, like kind of actually sides with levels. But they don't feel like there's much variation in that. It really feels like an early access game or a game that's like, it's almost like a Kickstarter thing of here's the idea, But Nick, you actually played this, so throw in your opinion on this.
Well, like the thing that I mean, like, because Ganja kind of hit the nail on the head, and I mean, I don't want to like completely versus Julian here, or even Justin, or anybody else who thinks otherwise, because you guys make good points too, and I see how you can see how this is like not linear, but in my opinion, it is, and the reason why is because you get situations like for me, there's no options in this game. I was complaining earlier today that this Super Mario Brothers, the first one on NES, has more fucking options and more flexibility with how you play these fucking things, more so than this game. This game, you cannot do anything other than just play those missions that they give you. They like to hide things, like for instance, like they give you this store, right? And you feel like, ooh, there's a monetary system. That's pretty cool. I don't see this happen often. Here's the thing, and I know people are gonna look at me bad like this, but I couldn't beat anything on the first fucking world. Like I beat like 2 missions and like 3 bosses, whatever the fuck. So what I decided to do is I actually hacked the hex code and I got infinite lives just so I can pass the fucking game, just to see what the fuck's going on, so I can know what I'm talking about when we bring this up on the show. I swear to God, dude, there's 3 tiers of each drink. When you buy all of them, which only, I mean, it's only like 22 to 28 coins worth. It's not a whole lot of money that you spend. That's it. That store. And by the way, too, another thing that they have on here, they have like this menu where you get to like equip certain like abilities and whatnot. You can only use one of them at a time, and I know that makes the game harder, and people will say, "Oh, it's a good thing," and everything. But it's like it makes no difference. I can technically get shit that I will get later on in the game and just use it in the very beginning, and that's it. That's all I'll use. There's no point to the monetary system.
And my argument, Nick, would be that I saw you play, and I thought that was a really good playthrough. I liked watching it. But the thing that I found so interesting was that you played the game completely differently than I did. And this is a reason why I like the system with the coins in this game. Like, instead of, like, just me also having the triple shot too, like, I had an extra life. Like, I had an extra hit point. You guys didn't have that. And, like, I didn't have that other weapon. So, like,
the Shadow Dash.
Like, they give you like a couple coins that you can like make the decision of what you want. And like, sure, I was thinking like you, I was like, oh, I'll buy this. And I was like, oh, I ran out of coins. I guess I'll get more. But then you don't really. So I don't know. I think that it's a good thing. I think it gives it more replayability, honestly.
I disagree. That's the false equivalency of freedom of choice when they don't give you choice at all. You're thinking because they give you the illusion of choice within this video game by the add-ons and extra lives that they're giving you variation. But when you do something like Nick and look behind the veil, you realize how empty it is, and they only have a certain number of coins to keep you from realizing how empty it actually is.
Well, here's a question for everyone, I guess, here. Would it be better if this game had no upgrade system at all? Because I know games that don't ever have it. Like, Mario doesn't have an upgrade system at all. It just requires you to do the same thing.
Now, Julian, let me hear your opinion on that, because I am curious.
Well, no, dude, that gives it like a whole twist. Like, you can't just like dismiss that, Ganja. Like, Nick played the game one way, and without even trying, I played it a different way. That's good game design. Like, fact. Like, the fact that we had 2 different experiences playing the same game, like, that's a good thing, man.
Well, I think
basic as fuck.
Yeah, because like the thing that really frustrated me too, and this is something I really bring up because this is something that even old school games on the NES, like Contra, the Alien Wars, things like that, these are games that I actually liked, but I had to admit, they fucked me over, and they're totally not worth what they say they're worth. Like, for instance, in this game, when I cheated, and that's the reason I brought up the fact that I cheated, because I don't want you guys to think I'm the best Cuphead player in the world. You guys have seen the gameplay. I'm awful. I am fucking trash at this game. But when I use the codes, and I still, like, when you die when I'm using the codes and everything, like, you just respawn. I mean, it still takes time when you die. It makes the match longer. Like, I had to beat things within, like, 4 minutes instead of 1 minute, where other people are doing. So, I beat the thing. I didn't beat the entire game. The last world I haven't beat. But basically, I got there. I swear to God, in a half an hour, dude. In a half an hour. That game is that fucking long. And there's people out there that are good enough to not die a bunch of times. There's people out there that are just zooming past this fucking thing. They probably got to those places even faster than I did.
Yeah.
But for someone to like play it super well, like it's almost impossible, man, that someone can run through the game like that without knowing what is coming, because the game is all about memorizing
that's not
patterns.
His point, though. His point is that if you strip the difficulty away, the game there's not much to the game.
And Julian, that makes sense too.
But that is the game.
Not necessarily, though. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, those are old arcade games.
Yeah, but
that's the thing. Like, you're trying to justify a purchase here.
Yeah.
No, like I explained earlier, the only reason that gameplay even existed was because they needed to keep you in the arcade to keep playing the game.
Thank you.
To the point that even Disney told, I think it was the studio that was making the Lion King's game, to follow the same method because they want to keep people to rent the video game and make it longer, because when you actually get rid of difficulty, you breeze through the motherfucker.
Yeah,
But-
and the thing that's frustrating too is like, you'll play this fucking game and like like Justin and Julian say, like that's the game, that's the whole idea of the difficulty and everything. But there's things where they try to, like, even if it wasn't for difficulty, like for instance, Anthony was telling me, hey dude, just play it on simple because you fucking suck. And I was like, all right, Anthony, I understand. Like, Anthony was not holding back on me. He was saying I'm trash. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm not the best. Let me do this again, right? So I did it again, and I did it on simple, and I beat the shit. And I was like, okay, no cheats, no nothing, I beat it. And then when you try to go to the second world, they're like, oh, by the way, you didn't get the contracts of those fucking bosses you beat, so you need to go back and play them again. They should have told me that in the beginning. They should have told me you need to beat these on the regular difficulty, but they just want me to replay shit over and over again. Like that's the whole thing. It's like, you think you're actually getting a game out of this fucking thing, and you're not.
But at the same time, like you are, this is like getting to what I was gonna say. Like get good, dude. This game is about skill.
But
Okay,
the
but
gooder
that's-
you get,
That's the thing. Like,
no,
people bringing this in the chat. I'm actually glad they're doing that.
Skill.
People bring this up in the chat actually, and I'm glad they are. Super Meat Boy is an apt comparison to this. But the thing about Super Meat Boy is Super Meat Boy doesn't excel the difficulty by just having bullets everywhere. It actually allows the difficulty to increase by incredible, meticulous level design. Like, if you play Super Meat Boy, why am I talking? Everyone's laughing at Gary's gifts right
I'm
now.
sorry.
No, man. That was just two worlds that came together. Stupid anime gifs and just Nick's love of wrestling, and I appreciated it.
God damn it.
I was thinking you're explaining it. Motherfuckers are giggling and shit.
No, I was listening to them. But go ahead. Alan,
Anyway,
go ahead.
Super Meat Boy is an apt comparison. Interesting art style, but it really focuses on making the levels themselves actually the difficult part, because there's no except for bosses, which the game has, there's no enemies in the game, except for the fact that you have to go really fast and dodge these things that'll insta-kill you. But when you die, you immediately go back, so it's like, Super Meat Boy is a difficult game, not because they amped the difficulty up to, like, impossible hard, it's because they designed the game to do that. So it actually does it in a much better way. But when you watch this game, it's just like, it's bullet hell and a lot of, like, it's a lot of just kind of just keep doing it 150 times.
And a lot of questions like, oh, am I hitting him? Or, oh, no, I'm not. Oh, is that a weak point? Oh, no, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just like a lot of questions. And here's another thing too, Julian, because you said, like, dude, get good. The problem that I have with this too is, like, the game gets shittier the better you are. If you're good, if you get gooder, that means you get a shorter, less of a game. And I'm like, dude, that's fucking awful. Like,
You're
this
laughing,
game is
but
better
there are
with
some
me
dudes
being
out
bad.
there that are fucking professional game runners who all they gotta know is the basic fucking tutorial, and they can easily figure out shit to the point that they're gonna beat this game faster than me and you are, because we're regular gamers and we don't have that fucking Einstein level skills of our hands fucking hitting the keyboard. But some motherfuckers do. I've seen it done with a lot of these games. People are notorious for their pride in speedrunning. And I see if one of those motherfuckers get their hands on this, they are going to be very disappointed with the difficulty and the variation in the game. Because you say there's different variation in the boss battles. I got to watch Nick do a boss battle 8 goddamn times last night.
Yeah.
There was 2 variations in moves, and they just switched the sequence so you thought there was difference. There was no difference in animation. There was no difference in the attack style.
The
It
slow
was just
machine thing.
the difference in the way there was positioned and what spot hit you and what spot didn't.
Yeah, and that's the thing that he's discussing, by the way. He's discussing the slot machine boss. And that's the thing that's weird is, like, you're saying, like, dude, get their patterns. The patterns are random. They're randomized.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
like
within the random patterns, there are things that you can like memorize and get used to.
After extensive hours. That's not his point. Like, Nick's not sitting there going like, oh man, I can't memorize the pattern, because after a while anyone's gonna memorize it. But Skull actually pointed this out in chat. When you compare this to a Dark Souls game, is a Dark Souls a platformer? Because that's basically all Dark Souls is go into an area, level yourself up, go to a boss, get murdered for a shot, and then after about an hour you figure out his patterns.
Yeah,
the thing
but
is,
I don't.
you can beat Dark Souls in 45 minutes if you know what you're doing. That doesn't necessarily make it. That makes it all right, but that doesn't necessarily make it good. It makes it for a specific niche audience. But when you're advertising this on E3 so that every motherfucker with a console should get this, you're basically advertising a niche game to a general audience. And that's where you run into a lot of issues where you have people that like it and people that don't.
Dude, they advertise so many games at E3 for the niche and the mainstream crowds. I mean, it's not fair to say, like, oh, well, they're advertising to everybody to play, because not every game is meant to be played by the same people, I mean, I get some of those complaints. Having not played the game, I can't judge that fairly. But, I mean, I see both sides of the argument, but I think it's made for the people who know they're interested in playing this game. Because I say the same thing about Metal Slug in those games, because I bought Metal Slug on the Xbox, and without the challenge of the quarter system and that stuff, you can breeze through that in 20 minutes, and it's literally like it's nothing. But
And there's games that I play that are just like this too. Like for instance, like a game that's very, very hard is Soldier X. That's a game that's a side-scrolling space shooter, and wrestle gun in these games. And they're also very like it's not a whole lot of levels, etc. But there's enough happening, and there's enough options to play these particular things that you can make it different each time you play. I've played.
Oh shit! How about the RTSs that I've gotten you into? They're very linear. They just give you a lot of options in between.
Oh yeah, like Star Rawless, it's the same shit over and over, but there's enough like option that I want to play my way. Me and Ganja are 100% different the way we play, and I know me and you are different too, Julian. Like you watch my gameplay, you're like, oh, I would have got the HP thing. Like why the fuck are you not doing that, Nick? Like whatever.
Yeah.
But
No,
at the
I mean,
same
like,
time-
it's not like a criticism. It's just like I thought that was like a benefit. Like we played it differently without even trying. Like I
Which
think
is
that's a
good.
good thing.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. Like it is a definite like that's a compliment to the game. But at the same time, what game do we not play differently? Like me and Alan will play Mortal Kombat X, and I pick like fucking Alien, and he picks Scorpion. You know what I mean? Like
The difference is also very aesthetic and very like a false sense of choice because the only reason you play differently than Nick is because they purposely lower the coin access, so nobody can either play one way or the other. So it's a false sense of playing different styles. It's not like an Assassin's Creed game. Yeah, Alan, you're about to get very happy, where you can kill people in 10 different ways that your friend could, if he likes being sneaky, he can be sneaky. If your friend likes to be more of the middle ground, can kill the guards with a big bat in the front and then sneak the rest away. And you can do 10 different variations of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And the big thing too, Julian, is because I agree with you the way we did things differently, etc. But it's like you only get 3 coins, and then when you spend your stuff on that first tier, you're only able to buy 2 different drinks, like after your first run and gun, right? And
Yeah.
with that, there's only like 3 or 4 different choices that we even have. So most people, like the percentage is divided in 4 halves or 4 quarters or whatever the fuck. So it's like within 4 quarters, we're all basically using the same tier. And with that said, it's like, no, it's really not that different because I've watched tons of gameplay things because I have 3 different save slots. I chose one with the chaser gun, I used one with the bubble fucking gun, and then I used one with the spread. And all 3 of those save slots, I've seen so many other people do it, and it's like, yeah, some people might be better than me, etc. But we're all playing the same way because you only have so many options. I can jump over the boss, and I can walk underneath him. It's the same thing over and over again.
That's why I think it would have been better if they just straight up fuck the upgrade system. Just say, hey, you just have a bunch of these abilities, like Mega Man. Just do it fucking Mega Man style where you just switch between a bunch of them depending on the fucking situation. I think that would have worked a lot better. Make this a lot more like Mega Man.
Yeah, and one thing I will say too
But
is
the problem is though too is that this game. Oh, but I was saying that this game was also originally designed only as a boss battle game, and people complained about that, and that's why they added the upgrade system and all the other stuff. So it seemed like it was going to please anybody one way or the other, because that
But
was the
I
original
think
intention. Was
That works in its
Straightforward boss
benefit, though. Like, I don't think that Nick has gotten. I mean, have you played all the levels, Nick? Because like, I just played a level that did something in one of those run and gun levels that like it was the first time I saw it. Like, there are variations within these levels like that because of the art style. Like, I guess I can forgive them a little bit, but like, I still think that there's something there. Like, it's not just like walking a line, hundreds of enemies coming at you. There's variations in it.
True.
There was one level I just played where you're bouncing on a trampoline and there's these balloons coming across the screen. So, like that was like a pretty cool level design, I thought. So like I agree a little bit with you guys, but like I don't think you guys are giving the game enough credit. I think it's really unique. I think it's cool what they're doing with the coin system. And I don't know. I think this game should just like be proud of what it did. It's standing out in a lot of ways, not even including the art style.
I think you should be ashamed to wear a dunce hat, but okay.
No, I mean I agree. I agree with a lot of things you're saying because the look of the game is so fucking beautiful. But the thing is, it's like at the end of the day, man, people are gonna hate this, but like when I was playing with Anthony, I was trying to hold back because I even said it was a 3 out of 5. Now I feel like it's a 1 out of fucking 5. Like the game is fucking awful. But when I was playing it with Anthony, I remember saying, or in my head, I was like, this game is a beautiful looking Tiger Electronics game. Like this fucking thing might as well be on my fucking watch, man. Like.
To distract everyone from what that is, I think like I would love to see this game in an open world 3D Mario World type thing. I know they would never do that because that would cost $1 billion development, man. Would you imagine like an actual 3D open world game with that fucking art style? It'd be great.
No, and
You
I
ever
feel like this is the
played,
beginning of a great era. But go ahead, Gunter.
It was Mickey. I think it was a Mickey Mouse game that did this kind of art style. Hero Mickey or something, where you have like a paintbrush.
It was on PS3.
Yeah.
That's
Epic
Oh,
Mickey,
Epic
yeah,
Mickey.
Epic Mickey.
Yeah. They
yeah.
basically kind of got the whole Mickey Mouse thing, and they actually like that was more CGI. But I get what you mean. Like I would love to see that kind of stuff, but that would probably cost like way too much fucking money.
Yeah, and this is a game he was talking about over here too. Well, it's not even show. Oh, there we go.
I never played Epic Mickey, but I heard it was really good.
Yeah, but like that's
It's
the thing.
good. It's very freaky.
But yeah, and I like this gameplay style and everything. But it's just like, yeah, I mean, we'll move on and everything. And I'm actually gonna go around. Like, I wanted to see what Julian's rating is on this game in general. But like, yeah, like I said, dude, like this game is beautiful and everything. But it's like we gotta like decide to take things away. Like people say, Walking Dead's a great game. And it's like, no, it's
Which
not.
one?
It's a great story. Any of them, just the Telltale games.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
count
okay,
them
yeah.
as games. They're
It's
interactive.
argument.
Well, because no, like that's an entire discussion, but
No,
Yeah.
but we're not
Yeah,
gonna have
yeah,
the
let's not
discussion,
go
so
into
there's no
that.
point to even discuss it. Like, but I'm just saying, like, that's how I compare this to. It's like you gotta separate like certain, like if we're gonna talk about video game gameplay, like we need to discuss the gameplay. And I feel like this game is beautiful looking. I love watching it. I feel like I should have not spent the $20. I should have just watched somebody play it and just reacted to it, acting like I'm playing it, because that would have been more fun than actually playing it. But yeah, 1 out of 5 for me. Julian, what do you think, man? You get the last one.
I think that the gameplay in this game is really satisfying when you nail stuff, when you're avoiding things and you're like doing it just right. Like when I was like playing a boss battle for like the third time and I had gotten like halfway through it without even getting hit yet, that's a pretty satisfying feeling. That being said, it has moments where it kind of feels a little tedious, but the art style like just keeps me hooked. So I don't know what my final rating will be, but for now, I can't give it anything less than like a 4 out of 5, I guess. Like
Okay.
definitely a full price, and I recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, and on his thing too. It's a beautiful looking game. It's nice to look at, but if you guys are worried watching YouTube videos in 1080p and the whole fucking thing, then you already got that, so you don't have to buy anything. I mean, it's pretty much the same shit. But I'm gonna start off with you on this one, Gandra, because I'm curious. Did you ever play Red Dead Redemption, sir?
Yes, I did. I did not like it my first time playing it.
What?
I'm with Ganja on this one.
I had because I played it on the Xbox 360 and I had a very hard time with the control scheme for some reason. Because that was the first time Rockstar really tried to give like realistic walking motion to the characters, and it really threw me off when I was trying to hit corners and like doing like tight maneuvers, because sometimes your character would just do this little turn that would just stop halfway through and you couldn't get into doors, especially if you try to run real fast. And it had a steep learning curve for me, like with the shooting and stuff. I just had a real problem with the basic control scheme. But from what I saw my friend play, because he did borrow the game, and he really loved it and learned everything.
Right.
He really enjoyed it, but I don't know. I just really have a problem with Westerns. They're always this basic, Hollywood cookie cutter shit where it's like the outlaw needs to fight the man to get his way in the wild, wild west of America.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, Ganja. Like when I got this, I loved GTA 4, and this came like a year afterwards, and I was super excited. This game to me feels like it's a great engine and it's a great idea, but a lot of what you're saying is like, oh, it's a bunch of Hollywood moments. I think there's a lot more problems with actual level design. Is the area they picked? It's so empty. And everyone I've always argued with, like, well, it's supposed to be because of the time period. But to me, it's like that was one of my issues of it's really like, okay, so when you're going through the thing, it's like, I wish they picked a different area where they could have had a lot more going on, because sometimes like you got to travel from one city to the other, and it's like you made it so wide, and all I'm doing is there's just nothing but nothingness.
I would argue though that it took the Fallout approach, like that.
No,
it
because
was
Fallout
like
always has little cities or little camps or bandits here
yeah,
and
but
there.
like
Alan, I would say that, but I'm playing Fallout right now, and I can tell you it is empty. There's
No,
vast
again,
stretches of
Fallout 3, Fallout 4, New Vegas, like they always obviously there's empty space, especially in Vegas, but they always put little camps, little villages, random NPCs walking by, little battles going on. There's always something going on. Yes, there is empty space, but my thing with Red Dead, it's so visually incredible, but that's all they really ever focused on. That I think that they really should have done. Maybe set in a different area of America in that time so that they could have a little bit more states, or maybe shrink the map size, because the map size
I
is too big.
disagree. I think that the way that the game is structured, it starts you out in this really open area, and like it makes it feel like, oh shit, there's someone, and then when you see a city for the first time, it has a fucking impact on you. That's what I love about this game, is that the original Red Dead was designed in a way that just constantly it's trying to keep you going, wow, or wow.
And they've done that
and
better.
It worked
Fallout
for me.
has that much better. Like, if you play Fallout 3, like, when you start off, you're like, oh, man, look at this giant open world. It's a while before you find the big city. Then when you find Rivet City, the biggest city there, it is an incredible thing. Like, Red Dead to me, it's like, they spent so much on trying to nail perfectly instead of having something like, I know that not a lot of people like it, but when you play Mad Max, the new one, they managed to get the whole open world desert, not much big cities. They managed to do it pretty well with always having these tiny little things, little encampments, little collectibles here and there to keep you kind of interested while you're driving around.
I think that in the first Red Dead, the wildlife and like little bandits set up and like people going by, and there were always carriages. I don't know the game. I never felt this way about the game.
And
It's
that's
weird
the thing
to hear
too, like
people
Alan,
say
like
that.
I actually like
Yeah.
Fallout 3 and everything too, but Fallout 3, that shit was empty as fuck. And like the one thing is like even when it's not empty and you're actually fighting against somebody, the fact that I had to slow down time, and then like you get this weird like Pokemon like.
The bat
Well,
system.
that's a choice. That's the VATS aiming system. Like,
No,
again,
I
Fall-
know that,
yeah.
but like that's the thing. Like even like when Red Dead Redemption gets crazy, it gets fucking crazy. It's GTA. It's fucking the cops come after you.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like hee haw, motherfucker, and boom, 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 and the whole thing is fucking crazy.
They're so easy to outrun, man. The cops are so easy to outrun in that
Well,
fucking game.
you're good.
One quick
I'm
turn,
trash.
one of them you're free.
I lost a lot.
But to me, I felt like I don't know. Maybe Ganja, enjoyed it more than I did. But I always felt it was a really watered down GTA experience. That there's just so much. It's like we're trying to nail Western, but we're forgetting to fill the rest of it up. Like the second half of the game and the first half of the game feel very, very different in tone.
Yeah, and I mean, like for
Yeah,
me,
it progresses the story. Like it's an evolution
Not
of the
in
game.
that
It
sense. Like
changes
it's a
it.
stark change.
okay. Well, I mean, I
But I
think
see-
right now
I-
the
I-
arguing is being prioritized.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That did feel it.
I mean, because for one, neither of you motherfuckers are gonna be like, well, you know what, Alan, you're right. Oh, Justin, you're right. Oh, I love you. No, I love you. And the whole thing. Like, I mean,
Why does everyone want this kiss cam moment between me and Alan? That's just.
I don't know. Hey, you guys were in the same bedroom
Do it,
together.
Justin.
Yeah.
Make Jesus cry. Do
I'm
it.
just saying, like, hey, don't ask for it, y'all. You motherfuckers are puppets. But either way, and there's nothing wrong with that. But but the thing is though, with the whole like new trailer, because that's what we're talking about here is the new trailer. And the new trailer, like this shit looks badass, very cinematic and everything. But my whole issue is, and it kind of like jumps onto what you guys were saying is, this is based off like Western type of like fucking movie making or whatever the fuck, and it's like,
Sure.
yeah. You gotta consider this, the source material and where we're actually making a game based on, and like Westerns are fucking boring. Now I want to actually go to somebody who hasn't really talked a whole lot. Allie, do you agree with me on the Western thing? Because I cannot stand Westerns. I don't know if you're into them. I know you probably watch Magnificent Seven, all that shit. But what do you think?
No, yeah, I'm not really into westerns either.
Now, is there a
Yeah.
particular reason? I know I'm gonna force you to say some mean shit, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, fuck Allie," but like, is there a particular reason why you're not into them?
They just never interest me, really.
Yeah,
Maybe that-
and I mean, yeah, I guess that's where in a nutshell, that's what I want to say too. But I mean, I'll be the asshole and say like, because the shit's boring, y'all. Okay, when there's
It
this,
really depends on how it's done. Like I get what you mean and to the extent, but take something like Westworld, the television show on HBO.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, like
That
that's a
was a
Western,
Western,
but
though?
it combines sci-fi, but it also like when you're doing the actual Western stuff, it's really interesting how they do it because it's technically a Western, but they always do interesting things with the story to kind of differentiate it.
yeah,
I would argue it's more sci-fi than Western, but I mean, I get what you mean. And yeah, Westerns are a very outdated film style. That's why they're not as popular as they used to be, because it was more in the 50s and the 60s and the 40s when they're really big.
yeah.
But I mean, there's a very archetypal thing. Like a lot of modern storytelling in film is built on Western tropes. If you
Yeah.
look at the history of cinema.
True.
But that's the thing, like we look back at the trailer, like there's a lot of like if you take the whole Western thing out, Rockstar are really, really good at trying to capturing an area, capturing the essence of an area, and then doing their own satire on it to kind of make it
Oh,
like a lot crazier. Like to me, one of the I do there's a lot of issues I have with the first one, but I think that with the sequel they could definitely improve upon it, maybe make more interesting looking environments, definitely have a different character. That's one of the things I was worried about. I know Rashad's really anticipating this and worried. One of the things I was worried about is they're going to do a prequel to the first one because that was the rumor, but it seems like they are getting
It
a
is.
different character. Yeah, but
It's a
like I
prequel?
thought I thought they were going to get like John Marston and have him before the events. But what this is, it's probably like set like 10, 15 years beforehand. But this is a different character. Like they have a different name and everything.
And you might actually get into
Yeah, the guy
you
is
might meet John
Arthur.
Marston.
Yeah, my thing was to go
Yeah,
see
yeah.
John Marston when he was a kid or something. Some bullshit like that.
Yeah, and by
He
the way, I'm
probably
looking at the
will.
YouTube
That's
chat,
been-
by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, go ahead, Justin. Man, you need better fucking internet, you motherfucker! God damn it!
Sorry, I realized I was cutting you off.
on his
Go
face
ahead.
that,
Go ahead.
that he looked like his brain just froze.
Yeah, that
I
motherfucker.
thought
like,
it
he got-
No,
froze,
I
'cause
was sorry. I was interrupting, so I'm like, sorry. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
No,
That's all.
no, actually, I'm not even mad at you. I'm mad at your internet. Man, you gotta tell somebody. You gotta call somebody tomorrow and say, "Hey, listen, man, I'm trying to go on this podcast. My shit ain't working. Fuck you guys. I hate this
I
fucking."
did.
He froze
I
like
did.
this.
That's the problem.
Wait, what'd they say?
No, I switched channels.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I wasn't frozen. I paused. I waited for you to go. My internet is fine.
Oh, so you're just stupid. Oh, no, I'm just playing.
Uh,
Oh, that's not.
You're not from around these parts. No, but anyway, so back to the fucking goddamn
Look,
horse.
kick your ass. No.
No, but here's the thing, though, man. Like I said, everyone's probably like, "Hey, I want like a game that's just like the fucking last one." And everything. I don't want a game that's gonna feel like a fucking sequel. I do not want that at all. What I really want is something like everyone's doing the crafting thing nowadays and the farming thing, the farming simulators, Minecraft, Ark, the whole thing. I want that shit. I want someone just like John Marston to be like, I gotta milk the cow and fucking get some milk on. I gotta like sell all the shit.
You joke, but that would be great because to me, one of the issues of the first one was except for selling the skin of animals, you really never needed to actually do it. So I would love to you got to skin an animal to make like an ammo holster, and then you can get horses and stuff and sell them. Like that'd be
but
cool.
the first one worked in like farm work in a way cooler way. They weaved it into the story, so it felt like you had a reason to do it. Because you're feeding your family.
Yeah, but that was end game stuff. That was end game stuff. Like you only do that like the last mission of the game. What Nick is saying is like have a situation where the open world lets you have your own little piece of the West.
Yeah, like let you actually start your own business. So when you're like offline, whatever, you're selling shit. Shut the fuck.
Dude, Julian, why are you laughing? GTA Online does that, or GTA 5 does that.
Well, from what you guys are describing, I wouldn't be surprised if Red Dead Redemption, because basically they did a trial run through Red Redemption to see how the GTA 5 online system will work. Yeah. So I wonder if they're going to bring on a Red Redemption. I can't say it both at the same time. It's too hard. But RR online, I imagine it's going to be the same kind of principle that you guys are talking about. It'll probably be like that, where you own a piece of the West, have to defend it from other players. And I think that would be a good way to get people back into these type of games by making them feel a part of the Wild West. Especially now, from what I've seen in the trailer, it looks like they're either going to be in like North, South Dakota, or maybe here in the Denver area from the different variations in landscape, because they go from plains to mountains to deep forest. And that's basically how this area of the West was. So it's going to be a lot more animal, a lot more foliage to deal with. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if you start dealing with like Indian tribes, since this is a prequel back when my people were still running around that area.
Wouldn't it be fucked up if someone does something where like like you had to kill natives and take their land, just like fucking when they did Resident Evil 5 and it's just black people?
You joke, but that's what happened in Red Dead, the first one.
Aren't you talking about all fucking Wild Western media that's ever existed?
But
also, they did it already in the last game. That was a story plot where you're dealing with a bunch of.
They did it 100 years ago in real life too, man. I got history.
No, but I mean, it's like this isn't new for the series.
No, and the reason why I'm showing the YouTube chat too, Red Robot King says, I love the fact, so he fucked up, but he says he loves the fact that we are playing the bad guys in Red Dead 2. Now, I don't know if that's like confirmed or anything. I don't know a whole lot about the whole situation because everyone looks like a bad guy.
Well, he starts off by saying, give me my money. I want my money. Where my money at? Like, that's what he says at the trailer.
You're playing the outlaws who John Marsden used to work for, the Vanderlyn gang. And so it's the prequel about how they got disbanded, and that's what led into Red Dead Redemption. So.
Okay, because that's the thing too, is like maybe that dude like got his money taken. He's like, motherfucker, like stop doing that shit. I want my money.
The trailer starts off with him walking up to the guy going, "Where my money? Where my money at?"
and then Stewie Griffin came in, just like, "Where's my money, man? Where's my money?"
Yeah, why are you comparing like the badass introduction of the characters stealing the guy's soup to Stewie beating up a dog? Like it's a way.
Hey, man, that
he literally says, "Where's my money?"
No,
where's my money, Brian? Where's my money, Brian?
But actually,
you got $10 to buy this fake ass mustache, but you only got $10 to pay me back.
No, this shit was great though. I love that fucking episode of Family Guy. But I also love what they're doing with Red Dead. If they're doing that, I don't know if that's like for sure confirmed, but like that's the show. Good night, everybody.
Everyone go.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, everybody, where's my money at? No, but fucking, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, this shit. The fucking.
About Red Dead.
Yeah, no, I feel like, yeah, dude, I really do feel like if we are the bad guys, that's going to make this way, way better. The only issue, though, is, there's going to be that weird struggle because I don't know if they're continuing that moral compass fucking mode, like, where you can be good guy or bad guy. Huh?
No, I agree. That's one thing I did not like.
Useless moral compass that had no impact except for how often the cops would come after you. That's
pretty fucking important. I don't want to be chased by cops for fucking hours.
to me, like, I would rather they instead of just erasing that, make it more like you kind of start off as essentially an abject piece of shit. I would want it more of like if let's say you were continuing down the criminal path, that the game kind of almost changes based on that. So you have like two diverting paths. Like, man, if I'm constantly a piece of crap, I'm just gonna be the worst guy in the world. But if I'm trying to be a better person, like I want to see that actually kind of go through. You know, see if they can actually change.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think that your character should be neutral because everyone's gonna play the way they're gonna play, and it's just like it's gonna go against his character.
Well, that's kind of what the first one was like.
Well, of course,
we're kind of bridging,
Yeah, but what I was gonna say though is like
At the same time, John Marsden was framed as a very like noble guy. Like even with the choice system, he was still a very morally good leaning character. So maybe if there was someone who's more neutral comparison.
Yeah, but the way you play it can be different. Like I can get a girl and be like, "Hey, bitch, fucking work,"
I still remember like there's a scene when you get to like their version of the city, Nick, and they show like this is some bullshit because I like characters that give you choice to their morality, and like Rockstar kind of just threw you into this character that you'd have no chance to really like express yourself through him. So there was one point where I was like, okay, you probably go to the city, there's prostitution because every Rockstar game has prostitution, and that's usually how these formulas go. And I remember when you rock into the city, it's like those look like some easy ladies. Too bad I'm married. Bitch, what? You kill people for a living.
I had a buddy of mine that said you should sleep with hookers and then lose morality as a result, because that would make sense, But the thing is, like, my issue is, like, the morality never did anything in the game. If you were super good or super bad, like, I literally went around and just shot every person I could because it was fun, and I kind of like the shooting mechanics.
No, but here's the thing I want to bring up really quick because this is what I was trying to get to. But like, yeah, he's neutral. But the one game that did this well, and I always try to bring this up as much as I can because this game is fucking incredible, and GTA stole a lot. Ganja, do you know what I'm about to bring up?
Ooh,
it's a game based on a movie.
About
it's a game based on a movie. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
Spider-Man?
No, go ahead. No, it's not Spider-Man. It's about like GTA style. So no.
It's Scarface, you cockroach.
Man!
God damn it,
dude! This fucking game.
I love this fucking game.
This what I'm about to show y'all, or well, I mean, I'm already showing you. I'm going to fucking video. But the thing is Tony Montana is neutral. He doesn't kill no fucking women, no fucking kids. He doesn't do that,
True.
right? But people are gonna want to do weird shit. They're gonna want to teabag. They're gonna want to be weird white people. Sorry, Alan. Okay, and Julian. Actually, all of you. But damn, that's not nice. But the thing is, you get these henchmen, and this fucking dude, this bodyguard of him, you actually get to play as him, and he kills women. He kills children. He does anything he wants. The only thing he won't do is kill cops for some fucking reason. And he won't hurt Tony Montana.
Well, killing, random civilians versus, like, law enforcement.
That's fucking
different amounts of heat. And now the Ringside Hangout, so John Cena.
SummerSlam, get that shit out of here.
By the way, people, the Diamondback mouse is a piece of shit. Just putting it out there right now, that's why I'm clicking random things. This fucking thing's all over the place. It's awful. The one that lights up,
I thought that was a wrestler.
No,
I was thinking, like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, I know all the words, but in that order, it's.
I thought it was a wrestler so much I was about to make a mouse joke because I wanted to be funny.
Because mice are in wrestling. No. Oh man, I don't even know.
They had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one time.
And Terminator.
But that's the thing, though. Like, I want something like that, man. Because this is not the only henchman you get. You get other henchmen that have certain abilities and things like that. That are not like Tony Montana. So
Wait, hold on.
One only kills dogs. The other one only kills rats.
Hold on. I just remember something in that video game. Don't Tony Montana sleep with like a tranny?
Yeah. It's
What?
wonderful. He
That
doesn't know
game
right
is
away.
so weird, but it is so much better than it has any right to be.
And like
Yeah.
Tony gets to fuck anybody he wants, right? Like that's the thing. The henchmen, they don't get to get prostitutes and shit like that. They are straight up just violent in the whole thing. And then there's
little love and they be peaceful.
They're just violence.
yeah, just like even if you want to play the game, it's like no, you shoot that motherfucker. No, but this game is a shit though. I can't talk enough.
If I can get that game running on PC, I'll be playing it right now.
Yeah, so like I said, people, that's why I really want out of the Red Dead Redemption thing. And I don't know what you guys feel about the trailer in general. It didn't show any gameplay, whatever the fuck. But do you think you even need gameplay at this point? Like, Ganja, I'm gonna start with you. Like, do you think people really need gameplay at this point to buy this thing? Because I think this CGI trailer in itself is enough. Like, I mean,
Man,
people get it.
Rockstar is the epitome of one of those big studios that can always be trusted with a product, even if it's not going to be like, oh my god, I came in my pants, the game was so great. It's still going to be an enjoyable video game to a certain point. I just hope that they be more creative with it since they have done this before and they're working on the same engine as GTA 5, so they're accustomed to it. So I'm hoping they're able to push the boundaries of it and give us a very good open world game that the Red Dead 1 should have been, besides of a tech demo that it became to be.
Now, Julian, what do you feel about that, man? Like, I mean, are you already sold? Are you gonna buy this shit?
So,
Good,
well,
man.
I mean, I was sold like the second like I heard that they were making it. But here's the thing with Rockstar Games that Ganja didn't. I mean, he mentioned the idea, but the one word, dude, that fucking like describes Rockstar to a T is polish. All of their games are like polished like nobody's business. And the thing that I love about their trailers is you can go back and look in tons of Rockstar games, and in this one too, I bet, there's lots of subtle things that hint at things that'll be involved in the gameplay. I could be just pulling shit out of my ass, but like I think that there's some subtle stuff in there that like is hinting at like how the game is going to work and stuff like that, because they've done that in the past.
Yeah. So I don't know. How about you, Justin? I mean, are you already sold to buy this
Yeah,
thing?
no, I mean, yeah, and I kind of agree with a few complaints of the game. Like, the morality system was kind of weak. I wasn't a fan of the ending when I first saw it. Not the ending that everyone knows, but the epilogue sequence.
Oh,
I always
fuck
thought
that
was a little
ending,
weak.
man. Oh, I fucking yelled at my
Yeah,
TV when the fucking ending happened.
I mean, I didn't yell, but I was just like, okay, whatever. But aside from that, I agree with Julian that the one thing that Rockstar games, whether you love them or not kind of thing, they're always well-crafted products. And one thing I really like, too, lately, they've been moving away from doing celebrity or big-name voices. They'll pick people who, out of the blue, are like these, no-name voice actors or character actors from movies. Like, freaking, they got Danny Tamborelli from All That in the last Grand Theft Auto game. The guy who played his son. It's like, that guy, yeah. But,
Who the fuck that guy is?
Yeah.
don't you remember All That, the redhead kid? Yeah. But anyways, so I'm excited. I like Rockstar's model, and I do kind of hope I agree with Alan. Like, I hope they do new stuff and new mechanics to really keep me going. Just to say, like, it's not just the shooting stuff. Maybe they can introduce, I doubt we'll do farming because the characters are outlaws, but maybe if we can try a variety of more different types of missions, I'd really be into it.
Yeah, you're a very missionary type of guy. Okay.
Man, I'm mad because that was good.
Now, this is, I mean, I'm going to say you for last, Alan, but I'm actually really curious because I never asked her this before. But Rockstar in general, like, I mean, Allie, I don't know if you're watching. She's just like, that chat, I don't know what the fuck they doing. No, but Rockstar in general, like, I don't know if you play GTA games and whatnot, but, like, do you even give a fuck about Rockstar? Like, at all? Like, do you like any of their games?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played GTA. I've always wanted to.
I mean, like,
I played.
anything
What's that other game? That racing game?
With the racing
Midnight
game?
Club.
Midnight Club.
Oh, that's Rockstar?
Midnight Club?
Yep.
Yeah,
Rockstar.
that was a Rockstar game.
They also
yeah,
made
yeah.
a table tennis game that was fucking sick.
Dude, remember when they did the
You mean-
Nintendo
Oh,
game?
yeah. That,
Ping pong game? God.
First game I bought on 360.
Man,
Never regretted it. Shit's
GTA
amazing.
My
went
favorite game
downhill
from them
when
is
that happened,
always
man.
be- My favorite Rockstar game will always be True Crimes. Like, that shit was great.
Yeah, but, like,
That's not Rockstar.
is there
Wait,
anything
that's
that you
not a
think...
Rockstar
That's not Rockstar.
that's the joke.
Yeah,
Okay, I was gonna
we
say
just
that's
got done with that joke. Like, how are you that confused?
because I'm an idiot.
No, everything gets lost in translation. But is there anything that Rockstar might be cooking up right now that you kind of can't wait for them to announce? Because you probably didn't care about this.
Fully
but-
2.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, no.
well, thank you, Allie and Allie.
Allie, your Julian impression is great.
Yeah. Well, yay. God damn it.
That's
Shut
a
the fuck up. But anyways, well, here's the
It's
thing.
never gonna fucking happen.
Nah, maybe. Especially if you get to, because the thing is, like, white people being in schools and then you get to like be in a Rockstar game, they don't want to give you a fucking gun. That shit's
Nah,
scary
because
as
they're gonna
fuck.
be alternating because
Well,
they spend
no.
so much time on their games. They're gonna be alternating between Red Dead and GTA. Like they're never gonna have time for that.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing. There's always been big rumors that they really want to go back to Bully, and they're kind of like that. Like they're kind of like South Park in degree. They could touch anything. Y'all saying it's impossible. Fox News would talk shit. Blah blah blah. Bitch, that's free advertising as far as Rockstar's concerned.
Rockstar doesn't care about Fox
They
News.
did. They did that shit during the first Bully. If y'all don't remember, it came out in the internal memos
Yep.
that they used Fox News and all these outlets to promote
But-
Bully.
But a big thing at the time was there was this lawyer in Florida named Jack Thompson who was fucking crazy, who got disbarred because
Yeah.
he was so fucking
He got
insane.
disbarred.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
So he's not around anymore to propel their advertising. But Bully 2, I'm calling it. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It is going
It's
to
not-
happen.
And then the character of I forget. I'm trying to remember his name. Last name.
Kane. The motherfucker looks
I'm
like
trying to
Kane
remember
Kane.
this cocaine. No, but I'm trying to remember the character's name. It's I know Hopkins' last name. What was it that you said?
Jimmy Hopkins.
Jimmy Hopkins. And basically, he wasn't a bully. If you play that game, half the time you're kicking all the assholes' ass and all the people that are the prep assholes that cause the bullying atmosphere within the school. And he's basically the one that makes it more equal among students. Like, they're still assholes, but they're not bullying each other just from preps or different clubs that they belong to after he takes over.
But when you go to the media and you show an animated white kid shoving an animated black kid's head in the toilet, that doesn't look, like...
Hey, man.
It's Rockstar. They'll be fine.
Yeah, that's Rockstar.
They had a torture scene
Dang.
with Trevor and some random dude in GTA 5.
Okay, but we're talking
was
about
amazing.
a game that takes place with kids, and, the question is whether or not he is a bully. And, you can be a bully in that game. Don't have
you
that
can be a
twisted.
bully, but that's the thing. That's all down to player's choice, where Rockstar is most likely going to make the storyline like they did with the original bully. Our character is redeemable. If you want to make him a dickhead, that's on y'all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just kind of taking him back because, I was like, are you guys about to argue if it's okay
No, I
to
think they
kill
finished.
fun in fucking school? Like, you motherfuckers, anything.
The MCA
Tootsie
is
Rolls
pro
are
bully.
good. And then, fuck you, Tootsie Rolls are not that good. What the fuck is going on?
When it comes to video games, you defend the weirdest fucking things, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's all right, guys. No, let him put the other dude's fucking head in the toilet. Come on, it's totally okay.
Hey, man, it's just pixels. Let him bully his ass.
It's called bully. You got to bully, right?
Yeah.
But no, the one thing I want to bring up really quick too, and man, I'm sorry to talk about Terminator again. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I love the game. Julian's like, oh fucking god, dude.
Let's terminate this conversation.
And Justin,
Boo!
Actually, that's pretty
No.
no, Justin's probably like, no, can we please hurry up and talk about the Oscars for next year? Like, dude, I want to hurry up and get to that
No.
point. No, but
This conversation's at terminal velocity.
oh man, that
What?
joke was terminal.
I just got stomach cancer.
Terminating
Oh, fuck.
terminal.
Man,
No, I
that-
get the joke, you fucking
That's
crazy
so
guy.
Skynet.
Oh, Christ.
Oh,
Thank you.
Hey,
It made
guys,
it worse. There we
There's
go.
one last pun, and it must be
That's what
destroyed
she said.
also. But people. God damn, this is so pun.
I'm judging all you
Are you a
motherfuckers.
man or a machine? Let's go.
Oh my fucking god, get on with the point.
No, but here's
I
the
think
thing.
these motherfuckers make one more goddamn pun.
But see, here's the thing, though, Alan. Like, this whole situation happening, you might be saying, and all of you guys are probably like, oh man, fuck Terminator, we want to hear about this shit. But, man, someone thinks the same way I do, because I love my Terminator, and he fucking left Deadpool Tool. Man, it's not the band Tool. Maynard James Keenan, everybody. No. Tim Miller
Is he gonna
explained-
play us out?
I guess so. I don't know what the fuck, man. Shut the fuck, all right, goddamn
You
it.
said
No.
that like the Twitty Conway joke, like he was gonna start playing rock and roll halfway through our show.
I just want to get to this fucking stupid story because Tim Miller explains his Deadpool 2 exit like anyone gives a fuck. No one cares, by the way. Like, the main star is Ryan Reynolds. And the whole thing, like, I know how people like to say, ooh, like, there's a writer and there's a director. What the fuck is there to write or direct? He's just...
Oh my god. Please stop, Nick.
Dude,
Stop.
it's Deadpool. If you watch that movie, that fucking whole movie is just telling jokes that are not even, like, in the story. It's like breaking the fourth wall constantly. There is
That's
no...
the whole point of Deadpool, Nick.
Yeah,
Nick,
but
that
I didn't say
Yeah.
opposite of that.
And to
Nick,
agree with Nick on something for the first time since I've started the MCA, he has a point with this because one of the jokes that was like, is this supposed to be funny? Was like, oh man, you're the only X-Men here. It's almost like the studio couldn't afford any more X-Men.
Yeah, that's
And I
not
was like,
writing.
that-
That's telling a real
joke?
joke.
that takes
The joke left, man. I must have missed it.
No, and the thing is, too, is like, whether or not you find it funny, the thing is, these jokes are not cleverly, like, you're just saying shit, like, you're saying things that we would say to each other. Like, there's not, like, there's nothing in this movie that is in the universe of this movie. The movie is basically telling us, like, no, it's a movie. This is bad. This is not real. Like, get involved in the universe of the
But,
film.
like,
There's
that's
no
the
universe.
thing. Like, the movie is supposed to be self-aware. Like, I rewatched it, like, 2 days ago, actually. And, like, I can't believe like I forgot that it has probably one of the best opening credit sequences in any movie ever made, and it sets the tone perfectly for the movie. Like I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Like you say that those are just random jokes, and some of them are, but they're from that character of Deadpool, and they're crafted in a way like with all these fucking amazing special
But that's
effects.
how you
that
defend it
it's
by
a
saying he's
crazy
from a
ride.
character. It's obvious he's from a character. Like that's the thing. Like you can't say like, no, this joke is good because it's from Deadpool. It's like, no, the jokes need to be good because they're good jokes. You can't.
Well, that's the thing. You say it's not doesn't take place within universe, but that's the whole shtick of Deadpool is that he's kind of this anomaly within the Marvel comics because he's so aware and he's kind of this madman from what the experiments that happened. That was one of the problems that I had with Deadpool since we're talking about it and it's kind of this kind of new light. I had a problem with how they portrayed Ryan Reynolds' character as mentally insane before the experiment because that's one of the things that are supposed to be a play on the torture and the kind of breakdown that occurred to him. If he was already a funny guy in the beginning, like I get like if he like was pretty good at doing quick whips or he sometimes crack a little joke here and there, but he was a straight on comedian for that like first part of being
But
human.
he was also crazy.
They didn't portray it that they didn't portray it as crazy. They just portrayed him as an eccentric dude.
Dude,
And,
no,
man,
the
Rashad-
scene where he's intimidating the stalker dude, that is like if
And again,
that
that was kind of out of character Deadpool because Deadpool's not really a hero. All this heroic stuff coming out as a selfish advantage, especially in the early comics. It's just, oh, I'll be a hero here, save this dude because he's gonna tell me how to get to this other place. Like he doesn't start off as a hero. He's really an anti-villain
and he doesn't
all the way to the point
sound
that
like
he
a
fights
hero.
the X-Men.
And
If
here's
you want
the
a
thing, I
better,
think
if you
Rashad
want a
said it
better,
best.
sorry, Nick, just to cut you off. Somebody actually Gary actually posted a relevant GIF for once, and it's like, if you want an actual better version of Deadpool, just play the fucking video game. Because the video game does a lot of the comedy much fucking better and actually fits into the universe much better, even though he breaks the fourth wall a lot in there. Like, it's a lot more interesting and it's a lot more fun than the movie. Because the movie just feels kind of very typical. Doesn't need, like, very typical. And the jokes aren't particularly funny. They're only funny because it's absurdist humor. So it's funny because it's absurd, not because it's actually
I'm not
disagree.
complaining about the quality of the jokes. Like, I'm not really complaining about like how like I don't find it funny because there's a lot of things.
Well,
like,
because that's that's subjective.
yeah, it's objective. Like Julian thinks South Park's funny. I do not. Like it's just we just differ. It's just different opinions.
But like the
But,
thing that makes the movie like special is that it's like it's a big budget studio film and they're talking shit about those studios stuff. Like that's not something that happens every day. Like that was like a
that's
huge
the novelty
deal.
factor. Is like because of
But
that
the
novelty.
is not something that we've seen before. Like, have you seen a movie where they call Fox a bunch of assholes?
Oh yeah,
no,
South
but-
Park, not South Park, but The Simpsons constantly dissed
That's
Fox.
not a movie.
Hell, they have
Well,
to stop doing that
The
because
Simpsons
people
movie.
weren't sure
Yeah.
if they were or not.
No, and then on top of that too, like let's just like you're getting creativity and quality mixed up because it's like, dude, like when you say like, oh, what other movie have you seen? Technically, me personally, no, Julian, you're right. I haven't seen a movie that does that. I haven't at all. Doesn't mean that it takes a lot to do it. It's just people have never allowed them to do it until now. But like, dude, it's just like saying like rated R. Have you ever seen a rated R movie before Spawn? Doesn't mean Spawn is the best thing ever that no one can argue with its quality. It's just I haven't seen another movie like it. Doesn't mean it's great. Like that's an opinion thing. With Deadpool,
Originality has always been good.
Spawn's a
originality-
freaking masterpiece. No.
I mean, like, I can do something as simple as I can make a movie where the whole movie is just my dick and balls, like just hanging, right? Never seen a movie that does that. Does it mean it's a good movie? Absolutely not. It's my
Bruno.
dick and
Now,
balls.
if you tell a great story with your dick and balls and it has great drama, character, then your dick and balls can possibly win an Oscar.
No,
Dick's
it has,
really
to,
good
it has
acting.
to have a budget of at least $50 million.
And we'll call it Little Nicky.
You got to make your balls.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Damn.
Deadpool was, man, you're acting like Deadpool is like a drag to watch. Like
honestly, it kind of was.
you are in
now I
the
disagree
fucking
with you,
minority.
I don't know. I kind of
Come
was
on.
out of there going like I've seen better in the video game that came out like almost a year prior.
Well, like that's the thing, and I'm trying to find. Here it is. Like I'm looking at Rashad's comment where he says, "If you take out the dick jokes in Deadpool, you're left with the damsel in distress movie with a hollow story." Now, there's
He's not
words
wrong.
like he's saying like hollow, and if you take out the dick
He means
jokes,
simple.
yeah, he's simplifying it. But like what I'm basically trying to say though is like without insulting the movie, because I don't want to like piss off Julian, Justin, and anyone else who likes the movie or whatever. But it's just kind of like. Yeah, when you watch that movie, it's really the same old shit when you really pay attention to it. It's the
And
same
it's a
thing.
parody. You guys are ignoring the fact that it's making fun of superhero movies. That's why it is so fucking awesome.
Yeah, but
Like it's aware that it's a superhero movie and it's poking fun at it.
Yeah,
we'll
but
have Julian
not
have the last word on that. Like, that's
Sure.
cool. That's great. No, I totally agree or disagree. Either way. But the thing is
Yeah,
with
but
this.
how I was actually gonna say, Nick, but how's this director gonna go from kind of Deadpool's like really absurd humor, very in your face kind of like
Thank you.
kind of comedy to Terminator now, where it's just more serious, more drama, and more of a epic. Like I don't know if he's gonna be able to do both.
Yeah, well, like here's my
In
thing
a
that
word,
I really
Ganja,
wanted to say
poorly.
about it that was really kind of like making me a little like, well, who gives a fuck? Because the reason why I even brought that up in the first one and insulting the first movie is the fact that this movie does not need a particular person's creativity to be good. Deadpool 2 is going to be good no matter what. As long as Ryan Reynolds is allowed to be himself and be charismatic, whatever. This that's the thing. I wasn't trying to talk shit about the first one. I was really just trying to say like this movie directing and writing doesn't matter because this movie's gonna be good no matter what. It's Deadpool 2. It's like as long as they just do what they did in the first one and just like have fun with it. Like just look at the comic books, do funny shit. I mean, it's a comedy. It's a parody, just like you said, Julian. You don't need an amazing writer, the guy who's wrote like amazing storylines to do this. Now, I mean, like, let me ask you this, actually, before you even continue on, Julian, with me saying that, with your reaction to that, do you feel like Tim Miller leaving this fucking production of Deadpool 2, do you feel like Deadpool 2 is going to suffer? Do you feel like it's going to be a bad movie now?
He left a long time ago. He left this is old news. Like he left. It's weird that they're writing this article like this, dude. He left like before the movie went into production.
Okay,
like
yeah,
the guy who's directing, what's it called? Who directed John Wick 2?
Oh yeah,
He's doing it.
Okay, well that's the thing. Like, there's been so much interrupting. I guess I gotta like get on that because the thing is, like, you would have heard if I was able to kind of go just a little bit further into it that the article is actually not about that. The article is about like him doing an interview on why he left because I guess he was keeping it under wraps that he was working on Terminator.
It wasn't up to him. Like Ryan Reynolds was like, "Yo, we need to do this," and he was like, "No." And Ryan
It
Reynolds
was worded differently. Like over here, that's the thing. Like, and maybe Julian, that's another thing. I'm glad you actually said that because now this is something that's like, okay, well maybe that's what kind of changed certain things and made this article worthy because he's probably lying, or maybe Ryan Reynolds was lying, or somebody. But he's saying that he left because he was always planning to do the Terminator sequel. He was like, as soon as I knew there was going to be a sequel to Judgment Day, the second movie, I wanted to do the Terminator. I did not want to be on this shit anymore. He said it a few times in his article. And for me, I'm just kind of like, okay, does that mean that Terminator, like this new movie, is going to be extra good? Does it mean that he's been working on this the whole time and that's my Deadpool tool? They're like, I keep saying tool. Deadpool 2. Like, god damn it.
I won't say a whole lot more because I feel like I've been talking a lot, but I feel like this article is like just fucking marketing, man.
Oh yeah, well I mean everything's marketing.
Yeah, but like I feel like it's like there's a lot of bullshit in it. Like like that director wasn't gonna do the movie like from the start. Like that's been known for a long time, and like now like because Terminator is relevant, they have him say, "Oh, this is why I left Deadpool." It's like bullshit. You would have loved to have done
that's a huge
Deadpool.
astonishment because a lot of these directors and actors, they get the scripts way ahead of time before a large amount of the production goes into it. That a lot of these like Hollywood websites can get a good clamps on it. Like Justin, for example, from you teaching media in course, that they're the first ones to get news when it's available. But how the Hollywoods deal shit, like they give you a lot of like secret scripts. Sometimes they're not even the real script, and it's just that first half, and they change up the rest later on, so you get a rough idea what the movie's going to be out. So he could have easily knew that he would probably be making, Deadpool 2, and then he heard stories about, Terminator 2 possibly bit down the tube, and he started to walk away from Deadpool more because he really wanted to work with James Cameron and bring back the Terminator series to its full glory. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, that's never gonna fucking happen.
No, and Al, I want to ask you
Fuck you.
because I know you're probably at least someone of a fan of Deadpool and everything. What do you feel about Deadpool 2 not? Oh my god. The second fucking Deadpool movie. No, it's called Dead 2. Okay,
Yeah, you're like Red Dead with ganja.
Yeah, Dead 2.
Yeah.
It's stupid. By the way, Deadpool is such a stupid name for a fucking character too. Man, fuck that, man. The whole thing.
Man, that was one of the things that I hated was they changed the origin story of him, where it was like, yeah, wait, look, we have you on the Deadpool, ha ha. Meanwhile, it was really a fucked up joke between the scientists on what mutant would survive when they were bored, Nick, when they tested on them.
Oh, that would have been much better. That would have fit exactly with the movie.
Exactly. So they did some stupid shit too, Julie.
There's multiple origin stories of every superhero. Come on, God.
We're not just
True,
cutting that. We're
but
just
the one that gives drama and real sense of urgency, they went out with. They went
No, we
first.
don't just kill Batman.
Drama
Just
in the
have him be
movie.
Batman.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Ali was going to ask you, though, like, you are somewhat of a comic book fan and everything. Do you feel like Dead 2 is going to be bad just because of the fact that, yeah, like, Tim Miller's not going to be on it? Shut the fuck up, Ganja.
Yeah, it's a lot of gifted and talented directors out there. I don't think that only one person in the whole entire world could make a good Deadpool movie. So I'm not really all that concerned.
Okay, and that's why I kind of felt too. Dead 2 Electric Boogaloo. Fuck you, Alan. God damn it. You motherfucker.
I would be worried if Ryan Reynolds wasn't going to be it. Like, if he backed out from the project, that would be
Can they
a
get Mark
big red
Wahlberg
flag.
instead?
What? No! No!
Hey, say hi to your mother for me, Wolverine.
No, I'm gonna say hi to Cornbread!
Oh, Rashad's in the house. How you doing, sir?
Yo, what's going on, people?
Yeah,
What's
so...
up?
Oh, damn. Came out like Oz. What's up, good folks with the jokes and jokes?
to OZ to the NYC and Corey C to
Welcome
the
to Def Jam.
Yeah, we should do that. MCA Def Jam.
No, fuck that.
None of us
so
can
anyways-
rap.
MCA rap battles.
But
Oh,
Let's talk
hell
about the
no.
comedy.
There's not a buddy on earth.
Damn, Alan, you are white, man. I was talking about the comedy show, but all right.
Oh, my bad.
damn.
Man, when I heard Def Jam, my first thought was the video games, man.
Whoa!
But one more thing to bring up, as far as release dates and things like that, and things being released, you fucking nerds.
Fuck you, man.
Def Jam, the
Countdown.
video game.
Countdown to someone bringing up wrestling since I said the word nerd. Oh, you like the fucking wrestling? Good with yeah. No, but fucking motherfucker.
Anyway, what's the next?
Yeah, the next on the fucking menu. People, and I hate this name, by the way. This shit's bad. But the It movie, the It sequel, is release date's announced 9/9/19. Or wait, no, 9/6. Oh, well, that's different than the fucking article. What the fuck? Anyways.
It's coming out next year.
No,
Or
2019.
2019.
No.
What am I
2019.
saying?
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, you stupid dummy. But,
What year is it?
but Stephen King's It apparently has a name of Chapter 2. Now, I can't help but think of Insidious when I see that fucking name. You know?
That's not the first time. Chapter 2 is a really common thing, like with John Wick Chapter 2.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right. Ugh.
true.
It's not like it's kind of a common thing for a sequel to do that, you know.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. But at the same time, lame. I don't like the name. And two, I feel like already to be like, okay, we're going to be coming out with a sequel this fast. Then the hype for it is almost like too insane. I don't get it. But Julian, what are you going to say though? I see you like, motherfucker, what the fuck? So go right ahead,
Say
man.
that, but now that you mention it, motherfucker.
Fucker. No, go ahead.
I mean, that honestly, I'm glad it's called that because, like, I was worried it was gonna be called It Too, like just like
Yeah.
IWO,
That'd
like
have been great. It
that
as
would
well.
be fucking dumb, like or like double IT, like fucking
Oh,
It's
kill me
again.
now.
That's great.
ITT Tech.
Pennywise, come out the drain. What are you doing?
I got
there?
my
Sit
degree
on your
online. You
ass.
can't too.
Get your education. We get educated down here too.
No,
Or
man.
just you want to get a
Now
bachelor's?
kid said he's got a diploma.
You want some loans?
Yeah, instead of the boat, he has the diploma stance. Like, Georgie, do you want to leave without your diploma?
You want some loans?
Down
Wow.
here,
That's
the
why he
only
turns to
Little
Donald Trump.
Caesars.
And meanwhile, as we're talking about this, I want to bring something up, and hopefully you guys can even see this shit. But there's this meme going around with fucking Pennywise a clown. Man, so, like, I know it's a meme, and it's like a big joke and everything, and I see dots in the chat, so someone must have put something up there that was fucking weird. Either way, though, I hate this meme. Apparently there's a part in this fucking movie where the clown does this fucking dance. And
That was one of my favorite scenes. I love it.
Nowhere.
It didn't feel
okay,
that
what
out
the
of
fuck? Are
nowhere
they
to
gonna
me.
show or not? Goddamn kids like, oh,
It's coming
what
up.
is it?
It's coming.
Yeah, it was literally coming up.
Okay,
It's almost
here we
like
go.
it was building or something. I don't know.
That shit.
Wait, is that
A German?
Is that
Yes.
in the movie?
Yes, that
Yes,
is
that
That
is.
is so weird.
Now, how
Well, the funny thing
fuck
is because
that
they always said he's Pennywise the dancing clown, and he never danced in anything before this movie. This is the only time he's ever danced in any It property.
So was this done? Was this done for the fact of like, hey guys, in case you didn't understand what the word dancing means, let's make the motherfucker literally dance.
Nah, he
What
was playing with his food. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty
He was
much.
being scary.
Yeah.
Like in the context of the movie, like it's not like it's out of nowhere. Like the movie's building up, and then all of a sudden they show that he's about to reappear again, and he reappears doing this shit, and it's fucking weird.
yeah.
Like,
Should have
it's
been tangling.
unsettling,
That would have
like-
been scary.
I'm sorry,
in the moment, you're like, "What's next? Like, what's going on?" It's like when your creepy uncle starts juggling with knives. It's like, whoa, okay, like,
Yeah,
we're gonna
I'm
leave
just
the
saying,
room.
if Freddy Krueger did the share, we'd be like, "Oh, look at that guy! He's so silly, so stupid. I hate Freddy Krueger." But this motherfucker's doing it, and because it's a
Freddy
new.
Krueger playing a guitar.
Can I just say the shit? Shut the fuck up! God damn it! Like, fucking A. So fucking.
Freddy Krueger rap with the Fat Boys.
Oh,
Well, it
yeah.
wasn't in the movie though. When you watch the movie, it's not like that. You know, and that's the thing that frustrates the fuck out of me. It's like people are so hyped about it, and so like it's fucking the best. It fucking whatever the shit, and like this is okay.
is.
This
is.
joke
Yeah.
is okay. Oh wait, I've been controlling the camera this whole time. I've been controlling the camera this whole fucking time, and it wasn't even on the shit. Oh man, but no, people, I'm telling you, this shit's bad. And yes, I see the guitar thing. That wasn't on the movie. That was on the TV show, and it was on the Tales of the Crypt. It was a comedy show, basically. God damn it!
Okay.
But yeah,
Man,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. All I'm saying. Wait, Nick's taking shit out of context again. It's in the movie. It's right there. Look at it.
Yeah,
it's
but
right
you're
there.
not giving it the context. Like, it's not like, again, it's not like they just randomly introduce a scene. Like, if
You
we're
guys literally
fucking
just said
spoiling
that.
it.
Justin
No,
just literally
like
just
the
said
kids
that.
have been lost in like the sewer, and like they're going around, and then one of them gets separated, and then she's been kidnapped by him, and then all of a sudden she sees this box and starts shaking, and then it opens, and that's what's in it. And like the only
Honestly-
thing scarier than something like Ali said, the only thing scarier than eating with your food is fucking playing with it.
eating what's your food?
Yeah, eating with your food. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Honestly, this is something that I could see Joker from the Batman animated series doing. This is something I can see him
Yeah.
doing, just busting out with a dance, just doing it for no fucking reason. But in there, Batman would just beat his ass, and this one he's just terrorizing kids.
Yeah, because
Yeah, but-
even. Oh, go ahead, Julian.
I was gonna say at the same time though, in this, like the Joker would be like in on the joke, and like in this, Pennywise is like, "I'm not giving you anything. What's up? You like my little chick? What's up?" Like, that shit was weird,
Can
dude.
someone
Like,
make a meme out of that shit, or the gif out of Julian doing that shit?
That's our Pennywise there.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I can't play the shit I just saw right now.
That is fucking weird as shit, dude. God damn it. I'm
Anyway.
scared as fuck.
Dude, in chapter 2, they should cast Julian as a Pennywise clone. So.
yes, they should.
Pennywise clone? They're
Yeah.
gonna have multiple Pennywise running around.
I know, Julian the dancing clone.
I'm down.
Oh man, no, but that's the thing. It's just for me that shit's weird. I don't like that. I think
the
people are way
point.
too hyped. No, I know it's weird, but it's
Supposed
weird
to
in
be
a bad way.
weird.
Nick, if you would just watch this movie, you'd be like, "Shit, what am I gonna
Nick, we
tell
need to
everyone?
watch
I
it."
fucking loved it." Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna like it. Like, unless you sit there like actively going, "I don't like this." Like, it's fucking
Wait, like
good,
the rest
dude.
of you?
That's the thing, though. That's the thing, though, Nick. I'm surprised that you say that the sequel is coming too fast. I know. Oh, god damn it, phrasing. But you know what I meant. You know, the fact that they're making another one, like it kind of goes with Stephen King, because don't the book series go as they age as like teenagers and then adults, and that's the final one, and they never actually got a chance to do the 2-part acts because it's always been like either on made for TV shit or it's been some small movie
And
budget.
the made for the TV thing, it was split up into 2 chapters, if not
And it
more.
didn't- it
That's
didn't
why
work out
it's
well for it,
it's
everyone.
perfect that they're calling it chapter
but the
2.
difference
Like, that's
being in
fine.
the TV version, they jump back and forth. They don't. It's not only kids and only adults. In this movie, they rearranged it where it's only the kids in the first movie, and then it's going to be only the adults in the second film.
Okay.
So that's
So are
different.
they only doing 2 movies, or are they doing multiple?
Just another one.
No, just two. Just two.
The hope is that they're
That
going to stop at 2, but it resurgence is very likely.
Yeah, probably.
There
Yeah.
we go. We got the sequel, Hit Resurgence.
Yeah, instead of
It
resurgence, it resurges. There we go. Yes.
No, god, no.
No.
Oh man. And you'll have Pennywise actually resurge, so you guys can get it that he's resurging. Fucking stupid. I don't know. I can't believe that the guy dances because dancing clown. It's so retarded.
Sorry, I can't. Julia's just distracted with that dancing.
I know.
No, man,
It's all good.
you guys hear about like what's going on with Pennywise and like all these women out here like
Holy
having
shit, that
a
is so
hot for
fucking
him?
creepy.
What?
What's going on?
There's been literally people that like been crushing on Pennywise.
Of course.
No. Al, explain this shit.
Oh my god! So apparently, there's like a whole Reddit group that like got attention. That like only women were like, "Oh my god, I have the hots for Pennywise." He's just so... like they would say these like nasty stuff, what they want him to do, and I'm just like, everyone else is like, "What the heck is going on?" Apparently, these women just like have the hots all of a sudden.
Instead of him smearing my makeup, I want to smear his.
I don't know if it's because of Bill Skarsgård
I'm
or
feeling
something,
you said
but
that before.
it is so
Dude,
weird.
this happens all the time when serial killers go to jail. They always have these like random women that want to sleep with them and marry them. Like this kind of happens a lot.
You know what's not bad about Tim Curry though? Come on.
Wait, one more time.
Yeah, but people fell in love with Tim Curry when he was just like a woman, so that's not a good example.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
He's just losing the shit. Oh, damn.
Hey, I got one question. Is that TV okay?
Only if that's Jet who did that. Then I worry about the TV.
Oh.
Oh, she gets stuck in it.
Hey.
Fuck.
It's like a fucked up version of Chalk Zone. She ends up in the TV world.
Oh,
I can't stop watching it.
Nick, we're live. We're rolling, Nick.
Nick, come back to me, Nick. Nick!
Oh,
Somebody get some super.
fuck.
Super.
It makes me wonder:
fuck
did people
is
have a
Super?
fetish? Did people have a fetish with the Joker from Dark Knight after his movie?
Oh, I'm
I'm
sure
sure.
there's someone.
Because I gotta think like it's gotta be because of the actor, not just the character.
Well, everyone wants to fuck Bane, and he's a deformed mutant, so.
Oh.
Dude, if people are gonna make pornography for Zootopia, nothing is safe.
Man, all right.
Well,
In
that's
defense-
always-
We're not having a discussion on furries.
Hey, you defended incest last week. I'm gonna defend furries now.
Oh,
Oh,
Wait, what
what
happened?
was that?
And that does correlate. In the defense of
Wait,
furries,
what?
They Disney fucking drew that fucking rabbit with hips. Like they knew what they were selling their audience to. Like, hey, come on, we know y'all getting off this shit. Come buy a Disney movie.
well, we know what Ganja's into.
Hey, I would defend
got
everyone in there with fetishes except incest, because that's nasty.
Oh man, I'm
You
sorry.
you didn't come to my aid when I was trying to, explain. I ain't saying shit to you. You can drown in that fucking statement.
Hey, I would defend my furry brothers. I have friends that are furry.
Friends, he says.
As I further defend people, I'm realizing, damn, I'm just putting a target on my back. No wonder people don't defend people.
I'm just saying. I'm thinking about working for the circus because after last year with Harley Quinn at the fucking like the Suicide Squad
Oh,
costumes.
you know, everyone's gonna be dressed as Pennywise this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
Man,
know.
it's gonna be a fight between Pennywise and Pickle Rick, man.
I
I've
think
already seen
are
some
gonna
good
win
Pickle
for
Rick
sure.
costumes.
People are gonna be all types of clowns.
Dude, we need to fuse them together to pickle it.
Dude, I really like hilarious. No, man, fuck you, dude. You're a fucking asshole. I swear to God. Pickle it, man. Anyway, man, I'm just like those gifts. People, the more Pennywise things you see, please put them in the fucking chat because I want to see more people like slamming their
God.
fucking heads on TVs and shit. Like that shit's amazing. Oh my God, dude, that was the most I've laughed in a long time. Anyways, yeah. So people, that shit was a lot funnier than this shit. And Ganja defending furries is more scary than it too. So yeah, just saying.
Love you, Diz.
Oh man, why you gotta put my boy out there like that, dude? God
He
damn.
literally comes on with a furry character. He's not very
comes on a
in the
furry
closet
character?
about it.
Man,
Yeah.
Ganja, freezing and you are not friends tonight, man.
People, Diz comes on fairy characters. Just a fairy. You know the fairy and the fairies.
He comes
Hey, man,
on.
Now you're being judgmental.
But even my internet still true truth. So fuck it.
Oh god. Well, one more movie thing, and then we can move on to something fucking else, dude. I don't give a fuck. I'm so mad about this because I hate the first Avatar so much. Alan, how do you
Yo.
feel about Avatar?
Honestly, I'm gonna get shot for this, but I think this is the Avatar's most overrated movie of all time.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
I think
It is an
everyone agrees,
alright,
too, but-
decent movie, and the fact that it almost made $300 billion blows my fucking mind.
Not
Not
300
okay.
Sorry, $3
billion.
billion. My bad.
Yeah.
One
Confusing the budget,
billion,
but-
too. However much, yeah.
Yeah, and in this article, it's like, oh man, this made so much money. I'm gonna make the next 47 sequels. Fuck it.
Yeah. No, it's insane that he made that much money, but it was also insane too that with Titanic, like just he made a bunch of money with that too. I don't know how that
Yeah.
movie made that much money because it wasn't that interesting. And
I
just
mean,
it's
it's in every genre.
here's the thing with those movies is that both Avatar and Titanic, they're amazingly crafted movie with really bad scripts and halfway decent acting. But that's the thing is that there's such spectacle. People like, because the thing is like Titanic is a Harley Quinn romance novel with a $500 million budget. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. It's like, yeah, it's a big giant romance with a humongous, boat wreck kind of thing. And that's kind of Avatar.
Boat wreck is cool. I'll say that, but it takes 4 hours to get there.
No, and that's the problem is that, yeah, it's such a tedious script to get through. And it's like, yeah, we love Kate Winslet, we love Leo DiCaprio, but there's only so many times you can hear them say, Jack, Rose, Jack.
Here's the thing, though, that I feel why Titanic did so well is that, like, all girls wanted to go see Titanic for Leo DiCaprio, right? Yeah. And so they grabbed their, they dragged their boyfriends, their husbands, and like, oh my God, we gotta see it. So hey, they got Kate Winslet, got the boob part too, she's been naked. So everyone's like, all right, and then you got the action part with the boat sinking as well. So it's like you got a little bit of suspense. So that's why I think people were like walked away because like. The second part, that's the part everyone really wanted to see for the most part was the boat singing. And that was like, whoa, man, that was so freaking amazing. So they remember that and they go tell everyone else, oh man, Titanic, like, yeah, you got to sit through the first part, but oh man, that boat sinking, that was intense.
Yeah.
And incredibly accurate. Like they've done tests, Mythbusters did on it. That's how a boat would sink, and that's what would happen if the boat actually, like, you're on a boat and it was sinking like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
From a romance movie to a disaster film.
Pretty much. And with enough runtime that it's technically 2 movies.
Yeah, it's amazing that worldwide, that those two, James Cameron, man, like that motherfucker, like the 2 biggest, worldwide grosses of all time, Avatar and Titanic. Like I'm still shocked that one dude can say that he directed both of those fucking movies. Like that.
I think
that's
Star
amazing.
Wars is second, and that's like everything else is just
no, it's third actually. Yeah, third.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Like after those 2.
Yeah, and then obviously, my boys, Jurassic World, yes. Anyone who wants to argue about that shit, fuck me.
Both of the movies.
I like Jurassic World.
Both of those movies
guns, bro.
are big examples of like huge innovations in cinema that like at the time, like the fucking like week that came out, that was like a big deal. Like a lot of things, like the special effects in Titanic. No one had ever seen shit like that in like the 90s. Like that was new, not done that well. And then when Avatar came out, that was when they like kicked 3D into high gear. And like there's impressive things about that movie. Like, don't get me wrong, like Avatar is like a really grandiose exploitation film and nothing more than that. But technically there's a lot of good stuff about it.
Yeah.
As long as you don't know anything about science, but
I always liked it being described as, dancing with wolves with the Smurfs.
yeah.
Pretty much. Wow.
I never heard the second part of that, but I've always heard Dancing with Wolves. But now with the Smurfs, that sounds great.
But like the Smurf world looked really good.
Yeah, it did.
But is anybody really excited? Is anybody really excited for another Avatar? Like, how many years?
Like,
no one's excited.
Yeah.
You say that, but like, I don't know. Like, Avatar kind of came out of nowhere as well. Like, we knew, like, once it got announced, like, people were excited then when they saw it.
Yeah.
People will get excited.
Because everyone was excited because it was the latest movie James Cameron had made after Titanic.
Right.
So you have the hype on that, and then you hear about all this amazing technological advancement that he made. Inventing all these different cameras. Oh my God, the CGI and the 3D and IMAX. Oh my God, y'all, we have to see this. This is an event. So it's just like, and then also like at the time it came out, actually it didn't do incredibly well at the box office because there was like a huge blizzard going on the East Coast, and that took away a lot of money. But after that was over and people could finally go to the theater, that's when people started swarming, because after like when people who did see it, they're like, oh man, it was so great. And so that word of mouth really convinced everyone, and I think people just really hungered for something to kind of take away from the terrible weather everyone has been having. So everyone just flocked to the theater, and it just continued to perform.
You have a lot of these sad motherfuckers for some reason that were killing themselves after the movie because they were so amazed by the world that they felt bad they couldn't live in the actual world.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
I'm not joking.
Look it up. That's actually, he's not kidding. That's called avatars or something. I don't know if that was the insult where they actually called themselves.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's terrible.
Right.
Something like that, man.
Oh man,
Yeah.
no,
That's right, Ali. They're not a race. That's not fucked up.
I mean, I feel sad. I never actually got to see Avatar in the theater because, as Nick would say, I was doing missionary during that time. But
He's too busy.
but no, the thing is, like, I get where it's like, yeah, I'm sure when you go to the theater for that experience, it's probably unlike anything you've ever seen before. But killing yourself because you can't live in it.
And it's not like they even went into the world that much.
I watched it. I mean, that was as bad as that movie fucking was. But
That's what threw me off. Like when you watch the movie, it's not even that like they don't even really do much with it. It's just kind of a cool looking world. It's not like they spend time building it or anything. It's just like, hey, this world exists. We're coming here because we made up some bullshit, and okay, that's the movie.
Now the money that this movie made too, I don't know if this contributed to anything as well. I don't know if those like numbers we looked up was just the movie theater stuff, because when this movie came out, this really skyrocketed the fucking Blu-ray like craze, because like, and I don't know if it was because these motherfuckers were so blue. They're like, oh my god, it's so Blu-ray, they turned blue. Oh my god, like I don't know what the fuck it was, but I know that when they were pushing the Blu-ray players and PS3 and things like that, this movie was always showcased in every single commercial. Like,
yeah.
it was like synonymous with it. I mean, it might as well put
always,
these motherfuckers on there.
If you went to a Best Buy or like any other, TV, where they sold TVs, Avatar was always like on every single one. Just because, like, oh man, guys, look at the detail. Look how much detail and work they put into the CGI. Man, it's incredible. You could see everything. And then you had the 3D Blu-rays they were trying to sell. And they're like, oh man, guys, look now. Now you can enjoy Avatar the way you did in the theater with 3D Blu-ray. Oh my god, isn't it great? And everyone's like, oh my god, yeah, it's great. Yeah, so that's how it
How about the fact that it
was giving people a big case of blue balls.
Well, no, how about the fact that it only you cannot see this in a regular theater. You can only ever watch this in theater in IMAX. So every ticket was like $25. So it was like almost twice as much as the regular ticket at the time.
But I mean, are we all in agreement though that this fucking movie, no one's really gonna watch it? I mean, like, because I feel like I'm not gonna be there.
I'm gonna watch it.
It depends, man. Like, what I was gonna say about that is, like, if there's something they do with this that makes it look like incredible, like this first one, it could. Who knows, man? But just looking at that on paper, that's gonna bomb.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna bomb that too.
My bad.
Oh, I don't think it'll bomb. I just don't think it will do nearly as much as the first one. But because, I mean, since then we've had oversaturation of 3D, we've had oversaturation of CGI. What else is there new to create that no one has seen before? It's extremely hard.
Smell-o-vision. 4D.
Yeah, 4D, dude.
4D, yeah. I mean, hey, if James Cameron's like, yo, guys, I want 40 theaters in like every single freaking state in the United States and like all the
actors
countries.
come out to you. So you're just like,
If he does that, then people will go, but highly doubt that's gonna happen. So
hey, don't doubt it. This motherfucker spent almost half his fortune, Allie, trying to discover the deepest point of the earth. He's crazy.
oh yeah, he's definitely crazy.
Yeah, and that's why I love the guy. I mean, this
He's
shit's
full
awesome.
of himself now. That's the thing. It's because like he has two, like not just two, but he's had amazing success with his movies. I mean, his movies are really like everyone remembers them. So
Well,
it's
even
like
from the Abyss, like right from the beginning, he was doing crazy shit that no one else was doing. Like with the Abyss, that was like amazing for its time.
yeah, exactly. You got Terminator, you've got Aliens, you've got you got Titanic, and even Avatar. So it's like the guy's like, oh, I can do no wrong. The studio will give me a ton of money, and I'll show them. And it's like, you have so much luck before you just start to kind of falter. It's like when you're gambling, you're playing blackjack or something. You gotta eventually, like cash out,
Break the fuck up.
because otherwise you're gonna lose your money.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Oh no, what were you saying? Or I don't even know which white guy was saying that.
No, I cracked the joke. I was just saying
white
my
guy?
Indian genes kicked in, but go ahead, Allie.
No, I was done.
All right, but what I was going to say is, like, I don't know how you feel about James Cameron personally, Allie, because I don't know if you heard what he said about your favorite movie that released this year.
Man, Wonder Woman, I'm like,
Yeah, he's talking
what'd
so
he
much
say?
shit about.
Well,
He's talking a lot of shit about.
Tell the
it.
audience, because I don't think nobody knows.
Yeah. What you
So
saying?
he had first said about Wonder Woman that like he was ridiculing the movie because she's just like she's really hot and so she she doesn't have what my females have and then with in Terminator Sarah Connor or Ripley where they're both like these hard female characters that've been through a lot and
She's too beautiful to be a superhero.
she's too beautiful to be a superhero basically and so Patty Jenkins was like, man, need to shut the heck up because, like, there's more to women, strong females, than just having to always endure something extremely, like, terrible in their lives, like they can't still be strong. And so there's just been a fight going on. I think he said something else. I don't know the latest thing he said about Wonder Woman. If Ganja, if you know.
Well, basically, he's kind of repeating himself because he's kind of, like you said, he's kind of got a big head to the point that he can criticize other directors when they make a big budget film because what is he, like 4-0 at this point? So no one's really going to be able to argue him all that well. But basically, what he was saying in this new comeback was that his characters they're more focused on the actual development of the character rather than, oh, this is what she looks like, this is how she looks like when she's fighting. He felt like the camera's focused more on her looks and her in a sexual tone in her action sequences than her just committing straight action and just being a strong, empowered female. But I kind of get where he's getting at from that sense because some of the, Alex, some of the sequences were very zoned in on the chest or they zoomed on her ass at one point when she jumped. But that's kind of like a Hollywood trope, and I get his discard with that. But Patty Jenkins is trying to keep the male audience also entertained to a certain degree. So I kind of get her throwing those little nuggets out there at the male audience, be like, oh, look, hot-ass Wonder Woman. But the majority of the film is so much more about, the empowerment of Wonder Woman and her growing up from this naive little girl into seeing what the world becomes afterwards. She becomes a woman through her experiences of World War I. And I don't think he kind of looked at the second part of that movie as well as he should have.
Now, here's the thing. We're about to get on a roller coaster.
You're not gonna enjoy this ride.
Before you start, Ripley is not James Cameron's character. Is actually.
Yes, we know. It's a Ridley Scott, but everyone loves Aliens more than Alien. All right, because she was a lot more fleshed out.
I'm just saying.
And also,
a lot more fleshed out in Aliens.
Made her a mother figure too.
And also, I'm gonna put it on my face right now. Yeah, Wonder Woman that character sucks. I'm sorry. But that movie, and I know Alan literally left the call because he asked me how I felt about the movie, and I said the movie was fucking trash while we were watching it, and he literally left. So hopefully I don't make anyone else leave this call by getting, pissed off.
I mean, Nick, it's just another movie that you're complaining about that you haven't seen. It's fine.
I watched it.
The whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing.
I'm impressed.
I was there.
You watched the movie.
I was there for half of it.
Okay, you talking about James Cameron's ego? Like, what the fuck? I've watched many a movie. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But
just because you bootleg a motherfucker, don't mean you didn't see the film. All right, you may have saw 2 Jews.
You can see 40% of the movie.
But you still saw the film.
Heard someone cough.
No.
Hey, I heard a great Arabic dialogue between a mother and son during that Wonder Woman movie. It was great.
No, but like as I'm watching this fucking movie though, like dude, you guys are like, oh, the struggle when she like grew up and she was in this thing. For one, she started off with the fucking mods, okay? Like when she started that fucking movie, she's able to shoot a super laser duper beam out of her fucking shield and her wrist. That's not being a strong woman. God gave you the gift of magic. Like you were like fucking amazing right away. She ain't go through any struggle. Like,
well, that's the thing, though. Like, that's what I'm saying. That she kind of that's the transformation in the second half, Nick, is she becomes more, I guess, of a human woman because she experienced in death, she experienced in trauma, people being hurt, and people trying to fight their goals and failing. She got a brace of the real world. What you don't like is her naivety that I mentioned in the first half, where she's kind of like this, I'm gonna save the world, Powerpuff Girl style, yay!
Yeah.
And you kind of take that to the second half where you don't realize a lot of stuff she's witnessing is really changing her as a character throughout the whole film, to the point that she knows humans are evil because she didn't stop the war after killing that evil guy. So she accepts that, she's got to help the good people and kind of get rid of the bad. And that's kind of what was her problem in the beginning. She didn't have the duality that she learned later on. Don't get me wrong. She does some real stupid shit that you could tell was just like, women empowerment, yeah, like the dress scene. But they do it for like 2 minutes. They don't go on for like an hour.
But there's so much more. Like, for instance, the way she kills the main bad guy. Sorry if I spoiled it for all you I've never seen a comic book movie before fans.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert. Ringer. But the thing is like fucking at the end of the movie, she uses the fact that she didn't hear him the first time, but she heard him the second time of, I love you. And she used a dude saying, I love you as the power of love and harmony to kill the fucking bad guy at the end. Fuck you.
That is the weakest part.
Well, that's always been the message, even for like real life, like love conquering over war, and that's exactly what he was.
What the fuck? Is this Barney and Friends? What the fuck?
I can't believe I'm about to do this twice in one show, but I get what Nick is getting at. the thing is, when you look at the Aliens and Terminator 2 with the female development and Wonder Woman, they're both developing their characters, and in my opinion, both great ways, but in completely different ways. In James Cameron, he takes women that are normal people and puts them in extraordinary circumstances, and they become great through that.
Thank you.
Wonder Woman took somebody that had greatness thrust upon them, and she has to learn to deal with that. She has to learn to get that power. She has this incredible power at the start and has no fucking idea what she's doing.
But
then
that
as the movie
doesn't
goes
mean-
on, she learns how to use her powers. So by the end of it, she actually grows into this character that's like, I understand what I'm being. And then James Cameron's like, they deal with all this struggle and all this turmoil and become these strong characters by the end of the movies. So I really I see where he's coming from, but at the end of it, it's two different kinds of development.
But like Ellie,
Yeah, but you said
Ellie.
And the
like,
thing with
you
Wonder
had an
Woman,
arc.
and the thing with Wonder Woman as well is that she learns that she might have these amazing abilities, but she won't be able to save everyone. And that, I think, really kills her the
Anthony
most.
Wilson. Like, I mean, really, that's the character. It's John Cena, Hulk Hogan, fucking Anthony Wilson Jr. It's like this whole thing, like, I gotta save everybody. It's weird. I don't like this shit. She's too John Cena. She might as well have the John Cena theme song playing in the fucking background. It's ridiculous. Dude, like,
What?
tell me what. Tell me what.
I like how you're getting mad at a trope from wrestling that wrestling took from literature that took
Yeah.
from superheroes. Like,
And I hate
you're
it in all
mad at
sense.
the wrong thing.
No, but I hate when all those things do it. That's the thing. Like, I even talked about wrestling, but like, Allie, I know you're saying like it's a wrestler. I can't put the pieces together. What the piece to put together is the fact that tell me at one point in a movie where Wonder Woman is not amazing. Like, I want to see the part where she doesn't have all the powers in the fucking planet and is able to take on
The part
army
where
of men.
the entire village gets gassed and she can't do anything
Yeah.
to save any of
Yeah.
those people.
But she saved herself. She's amazing. Like, that's the thing.
No,
like,
but
No, that's not
No,
the point.
That's
Nick.
not the point.
The point is
You're
that
talking
she
about
went
mortal
out of, yes, she went out of her.
danger. She needs to have internal conflict. I'm sorry, Al, go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
You said it. No, I was like, you were on a roll. I didn't want to.
I love the way that Nick backpedaled. He was like, "Give me one example. Here's one. Give me another example."
no, I'm not doing that. Wait, what did I say? Give me another example. I'm still on the same subject here, buddy. Like, now you're making shit up. Like,
Yeah, but you said that she's got superhero powers, but like that's the point. Like she can take more damage. Like if we were watching something with someone that's immortal, like you know she's gonna survive, mustard gas, right?
Yeah, and the thing about the character is her strongest moments are not when she's doing badass shit where she's like reflecting the bullet off her wrist. It's like the moment like at the end before that big stupid boss battle where she's like, wait, I killed this guy and nothing happened. All these people are still dying. Like that was such an impactful moment, man. Like
yeah, but like
I
the
saw
way
that as a
James
deep
Cameron's-
character.
The way when James Cameron had that interview or whatever, that article, and he's discussing like the bad stuff about Wonder Woman, he's not talking about like internal struggle because if that was the case, he could bring up like women in non-action movies and non-superhero movies. We're talking about the superhero capabilities. Wonder Woman, yes, there's tons of struggle that's not actually like talked about in the movie, and she's going through a lot like mentally and everything. But that's not something that's like done on screen. That's like
Yes, it is.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, if it's emotional, dude, it's not tangible. It's not an actual physical fucking thing. Like, this is not
But
even
you can
arguable.
see it on the look on her face. Like,
That's what I'm saying. That's
but
what I'm
that
saying.
reads. Like you're the only
Okay.
person here who's saying that doesn't happen. Like everyone else read that in the movie.
No, I'm saying that happens. I'm saying that happens. I'm saying it's not tangible. What I'm trying to tell you is like the thing that James Cameron's talking about as far as tangible when he's bringing up her looks and how she's dressed and what the character actually does physically, because that's a superhero movie. That's what they do. They're supposed to do physical shit. If it's an action adventure film, I mean, I don't know why you guys explain film. Like, what the fuck? It's in that genre. And like when you watch the movie, like right away she gets that fucking rope, she gets a wristband, she gets all that shit. I'm still on the same point of like, yeah, she goes through a lot of struggle inside. But physically, she's overpowered the entire fucking thing. The
Okay, Nick.
entire
I
thing.
think I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. What you're saying is you resonate more with physical conflicts rather than emotional conflicts. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I think that's what James Cameron's talking about too. Like with Sarah Connor, if you watch the movie, that first movie, she is a ditz. She needs help. She needs people to help her. That second movie, she is straight up human, no powers, and she's more badass than all the men on there. She can beat any dude's ass. It was
Nick's
amazing.
point is that she never gets her ass handed to her severely throughout the whole movie. But it's just like, that's what I'm getting at is two different kinds of character development. She is developing her characters like she has all of these John Cena powers, but that doesn't matter in that gas scene, for instance. It's like, man, I have all these fucking powers of being able to show up with a theme song, but I can't save these people, so what the fuck's the point?
Yeah.
Whereas, when you watch the James Cameron movies, it's like, oh, fuck, I can get shot or impaled at any fucking moment.
Yeah, and like the thing is like I like to equate it to Tomb Raider, like the video games that came out that everyone likes to talk about a lot. That Lara Croft, she is in danger. You get to see her die in fucked up, brutal ways, and she feels human. She feels real. That's why I'm kind of curious about that next movie that's coming out, that reboot or whatever the fuck. But you watch an Angelina Jolie movie, she's so great. She's doing crazy flips that even Indiana Jones will be like, holy shit, that's some badass shit. Like she's too amazing, and I'm like, that's why I never gave a fuck about Angelina Jolie's Lara Croft. I was bored.
That's two different properties, though, Nick. Because the thing with the superheroes is that's why people love superhero, especially the Marvel comics, is because these guys are so overpowered. But no matter how much power you have, you can't overcome the fact of being human. You still have to deal with human things, human aspects in life. There's not this grandiose thing that can kill you or impale you like with Terminator, where she has to overcome this physical element, or she's going to die. Whereas most men will be able to overcome this physical element. She's overcoming an emotional sense where more people can feel connected to that rather than physical danger. Because most people are going to deal with the fact that their decisions, even as good as they're going to be, can never save as many people as they want. But less people are going to feel the need to make a life or death situation fighting a bear in the outbacks.
I guess you're right. I mean, like you guys make points. All of you guys make points, and there's nothing to even That's not even an arguable point on my side as far as she is dealing with a lot of internal struggle. But that was done with the writer, the storyline, which is still counts as a character. I know, still counts,
right.
Absolutely. But when James Cameron's talking about something he's not talking about the internal struggle of Sarah Connor or anybody. He's talking about when she's fighting off these bad guys, for instance, Atomic Blonde. That's another one that people were complaining about. People were called sexist because they didn't agree with it. But Atomic Blonde, the girl walks in and just destroys everybody, and at no point I'm like, she's in trouble. I'm just like, this is fucking stupid.
Nick, you know what movie I felt the way you feel about Wonder Woman? Fucking Rogue One.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that movie, there's scenes where the lead chick, I don't remember her name, but all of a sudden she whips out a baton and she's amazing with it. It's
perfect. Yeah,
wow.
I know. Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
At least in Wonder Woman, the first 20 minutes is yo, you need to get down and give me 20 and fucking train, I mean, so it's not just she has powers for no reason. But
yeah, to be fair, Jin was fighting stormtroopers who we've established you can sneeze on a stormtrooper and beat them.
Well,
so.
not only that, Wonder Woman's a different storyline. You start in the beginning of Wonder Woman. They give you flashbacks of what's her name again? I always can't pronounce it right. Jen. I always want to say Juno for some reason, but that was a character from Fourth Tornado.
Michael Cera.
That would be a weird.
No, there was a character. There was a character from Star Wars: The Force Unleashed that was Juno. I was confused the two.
I want to see a pregnant teenager take on stormtroopers.
According to you, they can just sneeze on them, so she's one of those.
We jump into the middle of their storyline, so she's already had training. You already assume that everyone you run into has been fighting stormtroopers for a good minute, so you really don't need a training montage. It's
montage, but they could have done something clever that would have shown her. I've said this before for this character, if they would have opened the movie with her and her dad just messing around with a stick, I would have been fine. But there was none of that shit.
There's even a point that they have exposition.
Well,
not that they have exposition where the what's his name? Forrest Whitaker, Lazy Eye. He has an exposition where he basically says,
"Save the rebellion, save the dream."
Not that one, but he has one where he basically says that he trained her. So they explain within the storyline, yeah, she is trained. We don't have to show you because this dude's a badass, clearly.
Yeah, and that's
but that's not good filmmaking. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, because that's the thing. I agree with Julian in that sense, but then again, I don't know how that doesn't apply to Wonder Woman, where it's like you even said do some push-ups, do a couple workout things. Oh, but by the way, I've done some push-ups before in my life. I never was able to shoot out lasers.
But did you ever do it to it? You didn't use the right.
You're not Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you
see. That's what I'm saying. She's Wonder Woman. So it's
Human Diaz from Amazonian Wonder Woman. There's no middle ground here, buddy.
No, but see, Ganja, that's my point.
Nick, how about you like The Force Awakens? What do you think about Rey?
I think that was pretty well fucking told, because when you see her.
Everyone called her Mary Sue because she could do all this stuff and didn't explain anything. That is
what are you talking about?
Explained a lot.
She can fight Kylo Ren, someone who's been trained by Luke, the master of all Jedis at the moment,
Yeah.
beat him in a lightsaber battle. She has never touched a lightsaber before, unless the stick somehow is the same equivalent,
Because
which I doubt it because the
they
camera
kinda
just
talking
doesn't
about-
trust
I
it.
can't believe I'm about to say this because I don't even like Star Wars, and I'm so kind of like confused why Allie and no one in this call, all of you guys are fucking nerds and no one can say this before I can, but it's like there's 8 movies explaining how the fucking Jedi thing is this untangible fucking force that no one knows about, that you just have powers. They tell you in 8
Except the
Nick,
prequel.
you have to be trained though.
Not
Like,
like,
necessarily.
at the
No, you
same
don't.
time-
You don't have to be trained.
all right, hold on, hold
No,
on.
like you don't have to be trained, but
What are you doing,
still
quotes?
going up against someone who is trained at least in like sword fighting, like it's not like the force, like it was a force off between Kylo Ren and
But in Nick's defense, the one like I don't 100% disagree with the Mary Sue argument for Rey, but at the same time, the way they establish a character without fucking just spitting shit to us and telling us, they kind of establish that she has good instinct, you know, like she's quick on her feet and she's
Sure.
smart. Like
Yeah.
going with that, I feel like that is enough of a thread that I can buy that she beats Kylo Ren. That being said, though, it is really convenient for the plot.
Not really, because she's super powerful. She's always been super powerful with the Force, like right from the go. She's just been kind of it's like in the first Captain America movie, like he's strong, but just he's no confidence.
And that's
Like,
the
where
thing.
she get the confidence? Yeah.
And that's the thing.
My thing.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I was just gonna say that the thing is, like, when you get to the end of The Force Awakens 2, it's this fucking story that explains everything even more so. The thing is, there's TV shows and animated TV shows and books and movies and prequels and sequels and remakes and this that explain why Rey would have these powers, and that's the thing I always complain about, Allie. You've heard me complain about many times, where they don't stick to their own rules and just do whatever because the Force. You don't know anything about the Force. The rules are not established because it's the Force. Ooh, the Force.
Well, that's the thing, Nick. Like you say, it's not established, but this is one of the few things that actually got established by nerds in the '90s. Because I don't know if you noticed, but for some reason, Star Wars nerds like to figure out every little nook and cranny about Star Wars, and for some reason, LucasArts like, that's good enough canon. And so they've done this with her power to grab the lightsaber from a distance. That needs proper training to a certain degree to pull off within the Star Wars canon itself. That's how we knew Luke was getting much stronger in the second one when they do Empire Strikes Back, because he has now the ability to grab items from afar. He has that much belief in the Force. She kind of just gets this power out of fucking nowhere. And the excuse that she's more powerful is not good to me, because Luke is literally the descendant of Jedis directly. And we don't know her story yet, but assuming that she's unknown, mostly assume that she has no idea yet of what she's going to be. Hell, most likely she's going to be Luke's daughter, from how they like to keep this universe small as fuck.
I hope not.
Which would explain everything even more so.
And how about the fact that she can force control someone right off the bat?
Yeah, but she was playing on that. Like, that's the thing I was getting at, is this is a situation in which a child has got a rocket launcher. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're literally playing with a toy they do not understand.
Well, that's the thing. No one taught her that at all. She just does it out of the blue.
Heck, and they said that like the Jedi had been extinct. Everyone thought they were extinct. How does almost everyone who's apparently the Jedi have been extinct for several years, maybe decades? How do they know exactly the specifics of what they can do?
Legends. They've always been passed down. Even Luke, to a certain degree, knew it.
But either
it's
way,
literally like that
Jedi
scene-
mind
it's
trick
literally-
is not something you can do right off the bat.
It's literally like that
Established that
scene in the
have to
Matrix.
You have to have patience. You have to have control. It's not; those are not easy tasks.
She's
Like,
like,
that stormtrooper's head should have exploded, and then she's like, "Okay, let me dial back." Another guy comes in.
No, but to answer
No, but
your
what
question-
Scanners.
what were you going to say, Rashad?
No, I was saying it's literally like that scene in the Matrix where he sits in the chair and opens his eyes. I know kung fu. Like you instantly learn that shit. You like this doesn't happen in Star Wars. This only
So
happens.
what
in
you're
the
saying?
Matrix.
You're saying Morpheus came in and we didn't see, and he just put like Jedi trick and left.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm saying
yeah.
Ray is basically Neo.
But the thing is, and I'm glad that, man, Rashad, I love you so much for bringing that up, because you just, I mean, at least I feel like I made my point for me. But it's like, that movie with Neo just doing that, like just out of like a 5-minute scene, just like, oh, I know kung fu. With that happening, that fucking movie, it's called The Matrix. The gimmick, the thing that they're pushing, the thing that they're building is The Matrix, and how that happens with some people. That people just know shit because it's a Matrix and this weird being that teaches you all this shit, like the Force Alley. With Wonder Woman, it's not about some like there's not many people that have these powers. It's about Wonder Woman. You gotta build Wonder Woman. Instead of Wonder Woman being built, it was just this world that was built. That oh shit, she has powers. And it's like, for me personally, I never give a fuck about the character because I was like, I know she's going to win at the end. It's called Wonder Woman. I know that she has these powers. I don't care how it happened. It's just the way it is, and I have to accept it because it's Wonder Woman.
And you know what? I agree to a certain extent, especially when you're talking about Star Wars, Nick, because that's the problem with a lot of these things. Either it's too grandiose, like what Star Wars wants to do every time they make a movie. They want to pack in so much fucking detail that they can't. And then so a lot of this extra stuff become reading material. And that's one of the hardest things to get people to appeal to a universe. If I have to go to you, hey, Nick, if you really want to know how the Force works, you got to read Volume 17 of Force with Star Wars, and you got to read this Lucas edition. But no, not Lucas 2 edition, because for some reason that got decanonized. It's almost like religion at this fucking point.
Yeah,
I thought you were about to pull out the Holy Grail.
Man, so wait. So according to Ganja, the Old Testament is no longer canon.
Hey, if the prequels is Old Testament, then damn right Moses didn't exist.
So you're telling me Mother was about Star Wars?
I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you on the sandbars of Colossus.
No, but that's all. I just feel like James Cameron's right. I could be wrong. I'm the only one who thinks that, both in the chat and in this call. But I'm just saying, like, I know it's not popular. I know you're supposed to say great things about women all the time, and oh, she's a female character, and I'm glad she's getting her shot to do a movie. Yay, women! I love women too, and I hope they do more good shit. And that was a good movie, but Wonder Woman sucked ass. That's all.
The thing that kind of makes his point weak is that he brought up that she was beautiful. That has nothing to do with it, man.
That's
It's like
true.
saying like she's beautiful. She's not a hero. My movie actors are average, so they're more powerful than her.
So he just dissed his actresses. Funny enough, like
Yeah, he did just forget
Oh
about
shit!
All my women are basic bitches.
Like Allie,
They are sevens. They are sevens at most.
Nah, just
I
forget
like my
about
women to
the.
be I like them to be butter faces. That's what he's saying.
Nah, then you look at Avatar and go, you made the Smurfs really sexy.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
And like Allie said, God, Alan just fucking beat me right that one fucking comment. Like, God damn it.
That's a good fucking point. Not only did he
God damn
sexify the females, there's a sex scene apparently that was deleted that he had going for like
Alan, why
13
didn't you
minutes.
say in the beginning? I would have shut up. You would have beat me. Like I
See,
got
Nick,
nothing to say
the
after
key
that.
to destroying you isn't to beat you, is to think you're winning and then kill you.
Hey, he was dancing
Wow.
with his food.
Yeah, he was. He was like fucking.
Oh,
Alan dropped some science.
and there you go.
That's
And,
right.
and I feel like Alan won this round. I am done. People, we would go into Flex and Show, but we argued about this shit for about an hour. Like,
I wonder what we talk about. Like, goddamn.
so I just had to talk shit about Wonder Woman. I cannot stand that fucking movie. I hate that movie. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And yet it's still better than half of the comic book movies out there. Imagine that. Anyways, Ganja, I don't know. Do we have any viewing party stuff tonight, sir?
No, we don't. It's just gonna be the regular after hours. But I don't know. Are we gonna start using the rabbit now? Because I think that's a good decision. The only thing is, guys, if we use the rabbit, we're not playing shit. That's just so we can get more people into the after hours because they have a longer limit than Google Hangouts. So please don't start coming in with their suggestions and shit. That's for those special viewing parties things we do.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah,
So we are planning to do something next week because Blade Runner's coming out
that.
soonish. Next viewing party where we're going to start off is actually going to watch Blade Runner, the original. We're going to
Yes!
find, whatever the best version is, director's cut, original. We'll figure that out when the time comes.
Ultimate, but yeah.
Director's cut.
Yeah. So we'll set that up. But yeah, that's what we're doing next week in honor of the movie coming out.
Yeah.
And not only that, we're not gonna be doing no anime next week, but we're gonna let you guys know the following week what our plans are for anime night. We're gonna let you guys know a little ahead of time because we're noticing that anime night falls on Wednesday. So unless we let you guys know ahead of time on Saturday, you guys really don't get a rough idea unless you constantly checking the toes or toes. So we're gonna let you guys know more ahead of time when we get the theme out there. Not only that, make sure to check the Facebook page, the Midnight Chat Attack, beautiful Facebook page we have set up, guys. That way you can post your memes, GIFs, special videos that you create for us. You know, sometimes like Gary, he has his t-shirt and he wants to create some really weird Halloween themed stuff, especially now that the holidays are coming up. So you guys post it on there. We'll approve it if it's some good shit. And we'll post your content on there. Also, it's a great place for you guys to send us questions of the nights now. That way we can all see them because we all have access to the Facebook page. That way we can get a rough idea and give you guys a better answer when we come to the show. And I think that is it, Mr. Diaz.
That is it, people. First off, let me just go around the bell. Julian, I'm sorry for yelling at you. Sorry for yelling at you too. Rashad, thank you for kind of having my back about Deadpool. Fuck you, Ellen. So no, but
What about me? What about me, Jed?
No, you and Allie are used to me. You guys, man, fuck the both of you. I'm just joking. No, but people, that is it. I'm sorry.
You make it sound so clinical that you're useful to me for now, kind of thing.
I'm an asshole. I'm sorry, people. That's just the way it is. But on 3, 1, 2, 3, y'all know what? Attack that goddamn.
Attack!